will that be during as well?
Stephen Hurd. And the linebacking position, number 32,
Okay.
Brayden Pate. At the Mike linebacker, number 46, Mark Parker Osborne. And at the Will linebacker, number 48, Dominic
Fantastic.
Rowe. And the secondary starting
Awesome.
corners, number
On your
12,
lead, boys. Excited. Stoked for an awesome year.
Jay Davis. At strong safety, number 34, Keith Cooley. And at free safety, number 33, Hayden Cooley. On the offense tonight, starting at receiver, number 15, Kobe LaRocca. Number 86, Braylon Green. And the A-back positions, number 6, Deshaun Tompkins. And number 7, Bryson Johnson. And tight end, number 86, Braylon Green. And quarterback, number 9, Mark Stewart. And B-back, number 24, Langston Rhodes. And your kicker is Parker Osborne, number 46. Along the offensive line, anchoring the offensive line, number 63, Eli Gentry. And the offensive guards, number 59, Jaden Ferguson, and number 76, Jaden Smith. And the offensive tackles, number 68, Andrew Tumbleston, and number 66, Lucas Capitan.
Do you remember when we
Ladies and
in my
gentlemen,
senior year?
At this time, please stand for the presentation of the colors and the singing of our national anthem.
There's a little bit of something.
The colors are being presented by the Cane Bay Air Force JROTC under the command of Major Christopher Perham and Master Sergeant Paul Brown.
Those apartment complexes?
On the field tonight, the colors are presented by cadets
I was thinking
Dixie
the same
Boland,
thing. I was like, I wonder if
Aiden Green,
like a steal, like
and
if I
Mark
did a studio
DePere.
for like at a grand.
Tonight, the color guard is commanded by Javier Hernandez. During the presentation of the colors and the singing of our national anthem, it is customary to stand, remove your hats, face the flag, and remain quiet. This evening, the national anthem is being performed by Jamie Hancock. Jamie is a senior member of the Cane Bay Vox Bellator and a member of the girls' varsity soccer team.
We got names on the back versus a set of Jordan jerseys? Come on. Come on.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early
Can somebody say that?
what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets ran down.
This is Preferred Home Services Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet on My TV Charleston.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back into the Low Country, where tonight, Preferred Home Services Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet, Jack DeLongchamp. I'm with the legend Everett German. Everett, the 3A state champions, the Beaufort Eagles, the 5A powerhouse, the Cane Bay Cobras. What do you expect tonight?
A lot of running the football. Two well-coached football teams. Jack, we're in for a treat tonight.
Now, we talked about it, Everett. These two, ground and pound. You're going to see some stellar running backs, but it's the quarterbacks that you really expect a lot of tonight. Let's start with the junior quarterback. Just won a state championship a year ago, Samari Bonds.
I mean, he led his team last year to a state championship. In the state title game, he threw the football 2 times. Tonight, he'll probably have to throw it a little more, but he's electric. Looking forward to seeing him tonight.
Hey, Coach Librand let us know he's got a lot of weapons on the outside to help out Bonds. But with Cane Bay, it's a senior. Mark Stewart. We're expecting a lot out of him this season for the Cobras.
Yeah, not Martha Stewart, but Mark Stewart. This guy, much like Martha, can do it all. He, too, can run it. He, too, can throw it. Tonight, it's going to be the battle of the quarterbacks, and I'm telling you, Jack, whoever can throw the football the best, that's who's going to be victorious.
And I'm telling you right now, Cane Bay, they run the triple option. It's going to be the decision-making of Stewart, a veteran leader. Really excited for a good one, Everett. But I'm telling you right now, ladies and gentlemen, where are you going? Friday Night Football. It's back here in the Low Country.
Cobras have won the toss and elected to defer to the second half. Beaufort will accept the ball to begin. And the Cobras will defend to the scoreboard end of the stadium.
Tonight's national anthem is brought to you by the South Carolina Veterans, helping veterans and their families thrive. As you see the Cane Bay Color Guard honoring our country's finest, we get things underway from Cane Bay High School. The 3A state champions, the Beaufort Eagles, well, they take on the Cane Bay Cobras, turning into a almost 5A powerhouse. The Cobras, who will rely on the ground and pound triple option. Everett, excited for a good one.
Yeah, it should be. You know, speaking with both coaches, they're excited about their squads this season. A lot of uncertainties, obviously a week 0. I think most coaches feel the same way. As long as they can be better at the end of the season, as we take a look right there at the head coach of the Beaufort Eagles, Bryce Librand. Again, for him, it was all about keeping these guys humble. Of course, winning a state title, you got to keep these kids grounded.
Everett, I think it was our favorite line when we got to talk to Coach Librand earlier this week. This team hasn't won anything.
Right.
I'm going to sound like a broken record because I want to do diligence and make sure that the Beaufort Eagles, they get their flowers. Winning a state championship is so difficult in just his 4th season. But as he told us, hey, man, you practice when it's hottest so you're ready to go to play in the games that matter when it's cold out. His team was able to do so a year ago, but ready to turn the chapter and get things underway.
And speaking of turning, talk about the turnaround. His first year, they went 4-6. Last year, 13-1 state title. And the only game they lost was the first game of the season. So safe to say, Jack, I think they got better as the season went along.
And I think we got to make mention, too, that one loss was with us, Friday Night Rivals. I mean, come on. They take on Fort Dorchester, the Patriots, obviously, with Coach LeBrad stepping away. The Patriots, they've have just quite the historic legacy. And that was the sole loss for this Eagles team a year ago. Now looking to get a win with Friday Night Rivals in the house as we get 2023 underway.
Look like I believe Beaufort won the toss. They're going to defer to the second half. And finally, after the off-season workouts, blood, sweat, tears, the two-a-days, it's now time for these kids to perform under the lights.
And his ball gets ready to meet foot. It's the middle linebacker and kicker, Parker Osborne. That'll get things underway. Teed off, and it'll find number 24, Elias Johnson. Breaks the tackle, and he'll be captured and taken down at the 29. And with that, the Beaufort Eagle offense, led by what you said, an exciting athlete, a stellar quarterback. It'll be Samari Bonds leading the way for the Eagles this afternoon.
Yeah, the 6'1 junior, 162 pounds. You know, when you think of prototypical quarterbacks, those guys that kind of stand in the pocket, they sling it around the field. Bonds absolutely has the ability to put it on the ground if he needs to in terms of running the football.
You see right away. That quick look, that starting lineups are sponsored and brought to you by Preferred Home Services. Go Preferred, the company highly referred. Talk about this starting lineup for the Eagles. You see again on the other side of the ball to be Kane Bay lining up with Will Coker, Stephen Hurd. But look in the middle of the field. It's Parker Osborne, that Mike linebacker. He kind of captains and pioneers the defense for the Cobras. And in the backfield, Jonas McKean, stud athlete, a starter just the season ago. Big brother, a stud basketball player here. McKean, he really likes to fly across the field. He's a ball hawk. And there's going to be a lot of names that we spread throughout this defense. Because as Coach Zaire mentioned to us, Everett, there's a lot of guys on that defensive side of the ball, and they really love to swarm the football.
Yeah, led by Parker Osborne. It's not every day you see the punter also playing middle linebacker for a football team, but that's exactly what Osborne does, as you see. Speaking of the Devil, right there on the stop for the Cobras.
I was going to say, he's making it sound like we know what we're talking about up here. And who he tackled? Talk about freak athletes. Darrell DePass. He was clocked at running a 4.49 up at the University of South Carolina's training camp this year. DePass, he kind of looks to be the guy that fills into those shoes of Casey Fields, a young man that really was a catalyst in Beaufort winning a state championship a year ago. But on third down, it'll be Bonds. Bonds looking to get outside the pocket. We'll get our first penalty of the 2023 campaign. Let's see what the call on the field. It was back up the Eagles. Make it a third and even longer.
False start. On the offense. The Eagles, and you know, both coaches mentioned they were a little nervous. First game jitters. They did have a couple of scrimmages, but scrimmaging is obviously nothing like the real thing. So in this situation, both coaches said they somewhat expected to get off to a slow start. I can assure you, Coach Lyran did not want to start his first possession, having to go third down and 13 to pick up his first down of the season.
And you see those first, week zero jitters kind of under the way. We talked about the quarterback a lot. Keep your eye on the big left tackle, Adrian Lamb. They're going to run behind him all night. But it's Bonds. How about delivering the deep ball to the freshman, Amari Patterson? Are you kidding me?
Nice toss, nice touch on that pass. Often when you see high school quarterbacks, either they throw a fastball or they just throw it up in the air. That was outstanding touch by Samari Bonds. We talked about in the open, Jack, whichever quarterback could add that aerial attack. So we look at a replay here. You told me, very calm, cool, collective. Pressure coming in the pocket, stood in, and just dropped it right in the breadbasket. What a throw by Bonds.
That instant replay brought to you by Cruz Chevrolet on Rivers, just north of Northwoods Wall. You get a friend at Cruz Chevrolet, and how about that tackle in the backfield? Look at the big fella hunting Stephen Hurd. How about the senior? 6'10". I mean, come on. 6'2", 275 pounds is Stephen Hurd. That big fella with a huge tackle to the loss. You'll see in the backfield, that was number 21, Isaac Smalls.
And you want to have Stephen Hurd did a nice job of getting through that line of scrimmage and causing a little bit of disruption in the backfield. So once again, Beaufort looks like they didn't lose any yards on that play. But if you're Coach Lybrand, you don't want to continue. Actually, I missed the flag. There's a flag on the play, Jack.
You know what was interesting, Everett? I saw Isaac Smalls popping up and yanking at the face mask. I think it was actually a delayed penalty. It was about a loss of 5. But they get the call right on the field. Smalls did get taken down by the face mask. And all of a sudden, the Eagles, they'll move the chains again. It's Bonds on the quarterback keeper looking to bounce it to the outside. Be tackled by a
Bonds is
flurry
run out
of
of bounds. Little
flurry
short
of Green Bay
the line of
defensemen
scrimmage.
on the outside. I believe
Looks
it was
like a
number
loss of
32.
about 2
Really
on
nice
the
play to
play.
contain by Braden Pate. But as we enter the red zone, you're missing mention the red zone this year, brought to you by TEC Equipment Rental. We rent the good stuff.
That's what you want. You want to make these running backs in the speed of Beaufort. You want them to go sideline to sideline. Make them go east and west. Don't let them plant that foot and turn up and go run downhill. So good job by the Cobra defense.
The Eagles go to a 2-back set. How about a pitch to the outside? We see Isaac Smalls again. Great decision making.
Nice job by Keaton Cooley, the senior defensive back, 6'2", a touchdown-saving tackle there in the open field. As you look at the replay here, nice job running that execution, got rid of it, and out of nowhere came Cooley to make the stop.
Yeah, we're going to see a lot of primary back. Caleb Ulmer. Coach Lybrand lamented just how important he is to this ball club. But he also talked about Isaac Smalls. We've seen him a couple times already in this first drive. He told us he's a home run hitter, a jackrabbit, a really explosive player, and more week 0 jitters as it looks like Cane Bay jumped off sides.
Yeah, you got to watch the football. You can't get caught on the quarterback's cadence. In that situation, just a little jumpy there. And I'm going to just go out on the limb and say the guilty party was probably Stephen Hurd since he's coming off of the field. So not automatic, but it was 3rd down and 5. And it looks like with that penalty, Jack, it's going to be enough for a first down. So 1st and goal coming up for Beaufort. Good opening drive of the season for the Eagles.
As you see Bonds, he's joined in the backfield by Caleb Ulmer. Snack, they're going to hold it. Watch him beat him to the outside. Oh, nice tackle. You saw him again. There he was. It was Keaton Cooley. Never just said his name once. He go again. But he brought up a great point. He mentioned cadence. Getting that defensive lineman to jump off sides for Samari Bonds. The progression of just growing, and obviously the game's slowing down, but you see another great tackle on the outside by Cooley. But
don't forget DJ Cobbs as well as Joshua Frost on the stop. That's what we call a gang tackle. That's what you want to roll call at the football. You always want to have more black jerseys than white jerseys, and that's exactly what happened. That Cobra defense trying to force the Eagles to attempt the field goal.
It'll be 2nd and 10. It's going to be Patterson at the top of your screen.
You see them drop down into a 4-4 defense, trying to match up.
Bonds will escape the pocket, looking to beat him to the corner. He looks and tries to find a man in the back of the end zone. He'll come up just short. It was Durrell the pass, and great coverage in the back of the end zone by McKean to force a 3rd down.
Coach Lybrand was very excited about his playmakers on the outside, a lot of height. Expected to see some jump balls in that situation, especially when you're this close to the end zone. So already early in the season, this Cobra defense kind of having that bend but don't break mentality. They're trying to keep this high-powered Beaufort offense out of the end zone, and so far so good. Can they do it again? So far, Beaufort has been outstanding on 3rd down conversions.
See Bonds drop back. It's 3rd and long. Just a little bit of miscommunication as you see number 15, Amari Patterson, had the big catch down the sideline. Just runs a quick slant, and Bonds thought he was going to run that back corner fade. That's a 4th and long. So we expect to see the Eagles bring on the kick team.
We talked about both coaches, their special teams. Both are comfortable with it, not overly excited. But, again, Coach Lybrand electing to, after such a successful opening drive, to try and come away with some points.
On the kick, you see it's up. And right there, right down Broadway through the uprights, was number 34, William Kieserling, the free safety senior kicker. He gives us our first score of the year as Beaufort with a great drive to put us up 3-0 as we'll head to break. We welcome you back into Preferred Home Services Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. Friday Night Rivals is back in the Low Country. It's becoming one of the best traditions in Charleston, South Carolina, as you get to watch some of the biggest and brightest student athletes get going. But Everett, a lot of stars on that first drive from Beaufort is able to scratch first.
Yeah, of course, you always want to be able to kind of send a message. And we'll talk a little bit about that opening drive after this first possession for Cane Bay.
Jonas McKean.
Whew. How about the return? Jonas McKean, we talked about him playing corner. He made a nice play against the pass to take away a touchdown. It's McKean that's going to bring it out to the 41. Cane Bay, as they look to match the score. And it'll be the first time that we see Mark Stewart, the senior quarterback in his offense, that triple option spread. As you see McKean having a conversation with head coach Russell Zaire, we take a look at our Preferred Home Services starting lineups. Go Preferred, the company highly referred. As you can see, look at the big fellas up front, that left side. Andrew Tumbleston picking up a couple D2 offers, and Jaden Ferguson, the captain left guard. We're going to talk about him a lot tonight and the importance of that offensive line, especially running that option.
Hey, you got to be in the trenches. You have to win up front. I've always said, Jack, I don't care how good your skill players are. If you can't block and give your quarterback and your playmakers time to make plays, it's all for naught.
And these guys are studly up front. As you see, they'll look to match it on the other side. A couple two-way players, Adrian Lamb and Jaden Simmons. You see him on the offensive line as well. Lamb, that nose tackle, he's going to look to cause mayhem in the backfield. As you see a couple broken tackles from number 7, Bryson Johnson, the junior A-back, darts out. That's the first down of the night for Cane Bay. First down brought to you by Mr. Sparky, America's on-time electrician.
You know, and Russell Zaire, the head coach of Cane Bay, mentioned he wanted to kind of shorten this game. He wants to allow that play clock to kind of get under 10. He has a lot of guys that plays both ways. And so for him, it'll be interesting to see. They don't mind playing with tempo, but they do prefer to kind of shorten it out and come up with big plays as we see right here.
These running backs, they're special. The A-back, that's Deshaun Tompkins. Tompkins, a senior, standing about 5'10", 190 pounds. Everett, I know we probably got some Clemson Tiger fans at home. We talked a lot about the quarterback, talked about that offensive line, but the special blend between Langston Rhodes and Deshaun Tompkins, Clemson fans get used to hearing us say maybe a little thunder and lightning in the backfield for the Cobras.
Of course, that reminds me of the old James Davis and C.J. Spiller days. Of course, C.J. now the running back coach there. But, yeah, when you have a two-headed attack, as we're seeing here from this Cane Bay offense, and I got to tell you, I've been very impressed. You look at the offensive lines, the size advantage goes to Beaufort, but I tell you what, Cane Bay, they've come to play tonight. They're doing a great job of reestablishing that offensive line at least 2 to 3 yards down the field.
Talk about the rest of the offensive line. Eli Gentry, the center, Jaden Smith, the right guard, and Lucas Captain at right tackle. In the meantime, the Cobras, they just keep on moving. It can be a little frustrating as a defense. I mean, how do you game plan for that triple option as you've seen so far?
Well, the one thing you absolutely have to have is discipline. You have to be able to stay in your gaps. Don't necessarily worry about the football until it comes to you. So if you're, a lot of misdirection, lead blocking, guys trapping, pulling, you got to stay in your lane. Very hard to prepare for this Cane Bay offense.
Stewart, he'll hand to Bryson Johnson. Johnson, the backfield. There he is, Caleb Ulmer. You see him playing running back. You see him playing that Mike linebacker, too. Ulmer, a nice play in the backfield to push it to 3rd and long.
And I've yet to see any running back be able to run without its feet. Good job by Caleb Ulmer, basically making just getting an arm out there and kind of tripping him up at his feet. So a nice job. Caused a big loss, and now 3rd down and long facing the Cobras.
Ulmer will hand. Pitch to the outside. It's Tompkins. Tompkins with room to go. He'll beat him to the corner, and the first touchdown of the year. That Trident Technical college touchdown. Your future, your college. It goes to Deshaun Tompkins.
However, it looks like it's going to come back. There was a flag, and I was just about to sing the praises of Jonas McKean. What a block down the field. I don't think that was on him, so, a legal shift against Cane Bay. I was about to say, Jonas McKean, what a block. But, again, all for naught, negated by an illegal shift must have had two guys moving at the same time.
Everyone at home must be laughing at me prematurely.
Okay.
The voice gets animated. I was ready for that first touchdown. I was taken away by the speed of Tompkins.
Well, it's week 0 for the announcers as well. So, you've been in baseball mode, going out to the College World Series and calling a lot of baseball games there. I'm still kind of in basketball mode. So, so we're working up the kinks as well. But it was a great call, by the way.
No, hey, nothing else matters when it's Friday Night Lights. Come on. Hey, I'm telling you, that's 4.5 speed of Deshaun Tompkins. I was taken away by the speed, nevertheless, the play behind it. But that illegal shift, that'll take us back to 3rd and long. See how the Cobras respond. This time, Johnson, met by a whole lot of green helmets.
Yeah, the first Eagle there was Leon Rivers.
It'll be 4th down.
The senior middle linebacker.
13.
Say Rivers, and you saw Dom Camacho, that free safety from across the field. Camacho, a stud baseball player as well, kind of playing ball hawk. It's 4th and long. You see Kane Bay keep the offense on the field.
Oh, yeah, it's too close. Obviously, you can't attempt the field goal. Now, you could pooch punt it down there, but let's see what Coach Dare comes up with on this 4th down play.
Look at the quarterback get on the outside. Pitch late to Tompkins, to no avail. The big-time tackle from number 27. It's Keon Rivers again.
And it was the spacing looked a little off that time because it looked like it had potential to be a big play, but really the running back, Tompkins, a little too close to the quarterback, Stewart, and so it allowed the defensive end to essentially guard both people. So they need to kind of spread that out a little bit, and that could have been a big play.
A really nice tackle by Will Coating is that timeout and that turnover on downs. We're going to head to break. Again, that Friday Night Rivals preferred home services driven by Cruz Chevrolet. It's Beaufort 3, Cane Bay nothing. So we welcome you back into Cane Bay High School. That penalty, that hold in the backfield, takes off 6 points for the Cobras, as now Beaufort, after forcing the turnover on downs, will go back on the attack. The handoff from Bonds to number 21. It's Isaac Smalls again. Beats you to the outside. You see a little push and shoving after the end of the play.
Whoa, that's not good. It's M.J. Davis there to make the stop for the Cobras. Little extracurricular activity. Got to tell you, Jack, it's been a while since I've been out here to Cane Bay. Phenomenal facilities. Baseball and softball fields to our left. Looks like the practice field, behind the visitor stand. And then, of course, the school, just gorgeous. A lot of good things going up here in Cane Bay.
I was going to say, the school booming. And obviously, what Coach McKean on the basketball, Harvard was able to do last year, spectacular. But what Coach Russell Zaire has done since arriving, obviously, here at Cane Bay, he's turned this team into a formidable powerhouse at the 5A level.
Yeah, been able to get to the second round as we see a nice pass there. Just a pitch and catch. Just the catch made by Jamin Odom. And Coach told us, live, Brandon, said, hey, guys, we got a bunch of playmakers on the outside. Didn't necessarily have as many last year, which forced them to run the ball as much as they did. But now that he's got some threats on the outside, we all know, Jack, a balanced offense is a coach's best friend.
We said in the open, kind of what they were able to do in the state championship last year. Yeah. The blueprint was evident. They were going to run it down your throat. I mean, tonight, you've seen how comfortable Bonds looks in the backfield delivering the football. As you see, there's going to be a late hanky coming in out of the backfield. Curious if he'll be able to hold on that right side. But talk about some of those weapons, too. You saw, couldn't contain the excitement. You saw the deep ball to Amari Patterson. He said that Patterson, Coach Library, could be a really special player, just a freshman making his impact on just the first possession.
Well, and as we all know, when you want to run the football, if you throw it, that backs those linebackers up, that secondary up, so they don't creep up and you have to face 9 guys in the box, or sometimes even a cover 1 where you have 1 safety and everybody else, trying to stop the run. So you're right. He's excited about his freshmen, his playmakers on the outside. But he told us the one area that he had a little bit of concern, not necessarily concern, but was the offensive line. So those guys have got to do their job, got to win in the trenches.
And it's just a young group, right? Kind of anchored by that big fellow, that left tackle, Adrian Lamb. We're going to brag on him as the night goes on, as you see Bonds. Oh, wow. How about the move in the backfield? The big throw downfield, and he's got a man. How about that pitch and catch? It's Jermaine Odom again. But the playmaking ability of Samari Bonds to get out of the pocket and find Odom downfield.
Out there running around like Patrick Mahomes, like just run around. Take a look at the replay here. Just run around, told his receiver to go down. I'll get it to you. Once again, on the spot. What a throw on the run. Simply spectacular. The quarterback, Samari Bonds.
And a great rush from DJ Cobbs, just unable to contain Bonds. But look how calm he looked out there, ushering his receivers downfield, and the play was still continuing. That big-time 30-yard pass and catch, huge from just a young junior.
And our friend Mr. Hurd has had enough of Stephen Hurd's. Okay, enough of all this throwing the ball. Hurd, we've called his name several times tonight. He's all over the place, doing a nice job leading this Cobra defense.
Stephen Hurd, we told you, he's standing at 6 foot tall, 275 pounds. Talked about the kind of the youth is really in the middle of that offensive line. Adrian Lamb, the senior, as we told you, but it's Andre Ellison, True-Night Chaplain Walton, and Jaden Simmons on the inside. So a lot of youth, and right now Stephen Hurd's taking advantage of it.
They always want to find a mismatch wherever they can. If they can get some of their speed and athleticism on maybe a backer, that's where they're going to go to. This is a well-coached Beaufort offense. I can see why they are the defending 3A state champions.
It looks like Bonds let the play clock get away from us. It's going to be a delay of game. Coach Lybrand a little beside himself with his young junior quarterback as he's giving him an earful as the Eagles will back it up about 5 yards.
And before we forget, Jack, we got to send a shout-out to Miss Zaire, Russell Zaire, the head coach of Cane Bay. His wife had a minor surgery. It was yesterday morning. He said everything's good to go, so the MVP is home, resting, watching her Cane Bay Cobra. So thoughts and prayers to you, Miss Zaire, and hang in there, and hopefully you get better soon.
Hey, Coach Zaire said, too, she loves being here at the stadium, but getting to watch at home here in just week 0, we're really blessed and honored to be here on site. And kind of being the best ambassadors for both programs as you see Coach Zaire in his 13th season, 8-3 last year, in a really good region with some formidable foes here in the Low Country. And Coach Zaire got to be really excited about his defense in this third long.
Yeah, they've been basically on the field for the majority of this first quarter, and they've done a nice job of they would give up a big play or two, but they refused thus far to let Beaufort enter the end zone. And once again, they have them in 3rd and long. We've seen this on both possessions so far for Beaufort.
Ball on the 4, you're going to see another hanky. You saw a lot of movement on that right side. It's Kenshawn Speaks. And number 31 for Cane Bay, DJ Cobbs. Again, I'll be curious to see who they get first. And it will be Speaks. What was 3rd and 19 is now going to look like 3rd and 24, roughly the 45.
So where in the playbook do you drop the 3rd and 25? Do you flip the
I love it. Sarcastic for sure, but we've seen 2 25, 30-yard bombs, so you got another one in you?
All right, throw the screen. Oh. Oh,
well,
my goodness.
We see that roll out to the right again, and this time he's got the pass.
Okay, I'm a believer. This guy out there, Bonds, he is throwing darts on the run. His shoulders are squared, but he is not stopping planning. He is literally throwing this on the run and in stride. Didn't even break stride there. Once again, able to connect, and more importantly, now in the red zone and another 1st and goal. Actually, no, not 1st and goal. Yep, 1st and goal for the Eagles.
Did you see that?
You said that, Jack. You said, you're going to like this guy. And I'm like, yeah. No, I like this guy.
See, it's Bonds again. This time he's going to keep it. Dart for about 4. See, he takes a shot on that throw downfield. He's just so tough. As you see, he's entered the red zone. Brought to you by Trident Technical College. Your future, your college. If I'm investing my money, I'm investing it in a young junior, Samari Bonds.
Well, he's just, again, as you see some great downfield blocking, that time by the pass, but he's just his poise. I mean, he doesn't get rattled. He's just out there having fun, just playing football.
And you know what I love? To see the composure in just your 30. He wins a state championship. It's just a sophomore, his first year as the quarterback. Now he's really taking it on as a passing quarterback. Coach Librand mentioned pass concepts starting to slow down for him a little bit, and that's kind of been the progression. Is that what you've seen in this first quarter?
So far, yes, absolutely. You can tell he's been there, done that. The experience he gained last year is on display now, as I believe they're probably going to let this quarter run out. But, yes, I've been very impressed with Mr. Bonds thus far. His athleticism, you can just tell he's one of those guys, you can literally say, hey, just go out there. And in basketball, we call it the C play. Give it to Bonds, see what he can do. And he's impressed me here in the first quarter.
Well, we saw what we saw in the first quarter, and it was a whole lot of Samari Bonds. Score remains just 3-0 as we'll head to break. Welcome you back. This is Friday Night Rivals. Preferred Home Services brought to you by Cruise Chevrolet.
Schools.net. Third down and 2 for the Eagles.
Welcome you back into Cane Bay High School. It's Preferred Home Services, Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruise Chevrolet. And right away, it's Samari Bonds in that Trident Technical College red zone. 2nd and 3, Beaufort leads 3-0 as we get the second quarter underway. And it's Bonds from the shotgun. He's going to keep it. He's going to trot right into the end zone.
He made that look awfully easy. Nice job by the offensive line, winning the line of scrimmage. We talk about it all the time in the trenches. That particular possession, Beaufort got the best of Cane Bay, and they just scored their first touchdown of the season.
Samari Bonds in his junior campaign looking to put the South Carolina State High School League on notice. He's the real deal. He's looking to repeat for the Eagles. He's thrown it big time. That touchdown, again, brought to you by Trident Technical College. Your future, your college. And the way that Bonds has played tonight, he's going to have quite the pick where he wants to play college ball.
Yeah, the way he's playing tonight, I don't think he'll be going to Trident Tech, unfortunately, because they don't have a football team. But, man, I tell you what, boys, he put on a show tonight.
You see a little bit of a high snap. Great hold from Bonds as number 34, William Kieserling, crushed the PAT, pushed the score at 10-0 Beaufort. It's been all Eagles all the time.
Yeah, so far Burns 4 of 7 throwing the football for 127 yards. Rushing-wise, Smalls 2 carries for 10 yards. Bonds now with 1 touchdown, the only touchdown on the ground. And receiving-wise, Odom's been his favorite target, 2 catches for 49 yards. And obviously Patterson with 1 for 44. And the pass, 1 for 34. So we talked about the big play. Coach Zaire also mentioned that was one of his keys is, guy can't give up the big play, but give credit. His defense has done what they're supposed to do in a regular offensive set. It's the broken plays that's causing issues for Cane Bay thus far.
4 for 7, 127. Is that pretty good for one quarter?
I'm not that good at math, but I can know if he keeps at this pace, he'll be throwing for over 400 yards through 4.
You see a big kickoff from number 11, Brendan Ford. McKean will be tackled around the 27. As we'll kick it down to our sideline reporter for the fall season. Friday Night Rivals, he's become an icon. It's Trooper Bob.
Hey, guys, I'm down here on the field right here with the principal, Dr. Glenda Levine at Cane Bay High School. Thank you very much for being here. New school year, new goals. What are some of the things you're looking forward to?
Oh, we are looking forward to a great year at Cane Bay High. We have certain areas of focus this year, and they are high expectations for our students, academic achievement, academic excellence, and then most importantly, we're creating a caring environment for our students. So those are our key focus areas for this year.
Best of luck to you, your staff, and everyone here at Cane Bay High School. We've got a check presentation for you.
Thank you.
Rose on the carry.
As you see there, just such an incredible gesture as you see Preferred Home sponsors. They are the sponsor of that $500 grant to all host schools this season. Kind of gives us the opportunity ever to show love on these student athletes, so we thank them.
Yeah, and not only just the student athletes, but the band, the cheerleaders, just the Cane Bay community tonight in terms of just being able to showcase their skills, their talents. Again, one of the, well, I shouldn't say new schools. It's been around, it seems like it's a new school, but just an absolute gorgeous campus, great leadership, great coaches, just great people. And there's no secret. I mean, when you have these types of facilities, these types of people and community support, it's easy to see why people are obviously excited, not only about Cane Bay football, but Cane Bay High School in general.
See Cane Bay already moving the chains. A nice pitch to the outside. That's Tompkins again. He'll bounce it to the outside. That's about a 14-yard gain for Deshaun Tompkins. Man, can he boogie.
What a great job of setting up the run to the outside. He used his blockers downfield. He didn't turn up too quickly. He let the blockers get in front of him. Then he was able to bounce it outside. Great field vision by Tompkins, and that's why he picked up 14 yards on that run, and that's a Cane Bay first down.
That first down brought to you by West Shore Home, America's most admired home remodeling brand. Second first down already for the possession as you see the handoff immediately to Bryson Johnson. Johnson darts for about 7 yards. Been so impressed with Mark Stewart's patience in that backfield, always making the right decision of whether to hand it off to the correct A-back, and that time it was Johnson.
And Johnson able to pick up some additional yards. As you can see, another penalty flag on the play. But Tompkins on the previous play
against the
with
Eagles.
a great run on that particular play, the great block. And as you see, they're going to get some additional yards because of the horse collar call. So once again, Cane Bay on the move. Drive stalled the last time. Let's see if they can capitalize on, well, these free 15 yards.
And in that first possession, they looked fantastic. Coach Zaire kind of talked to us about staying on time. Can you kind of elaborate what he meant by that?
Just basically don't have a good play, then have 2 bad ones to kind of negate what you've done. So eliminate the mistakes and give yourself a chance.
You see, this is the first time we're calling the name of the B-back, Tyler Myers. Myers, the sophomore, standing about 6 foot, 210 pounds. He kind of provides that thunder that we referred to. See, he runs right behind left guard Jaden Ferguson. I want to talk a little bit more about Ferguson. Coach Zaire, Ferguson was a guy that played center, moved to left guard, a 3-year starter. He's a coach's dream kind of player.
He's all in. He's a team player. He does what this team needs. I mean, Coach said he even went this summer and picked up some of his teammates to make sure that they didn't miss workouts. When you have that type of buy-in, that type of leadership, that culture around your program, that's what's going to win you ball games as well. So you're right. That's a very special young man, and a man that, well, a player that a lot of coaches wish they had in their locker room.
See, we entered that tried technical red zone, your future, your college. You said workout. Can't miss some workouts. Ferguson, how about a max squat of 570 pounds this offseason?
Well, I miss workouts, Jack. You may not miss workouts, but I do. So I salute to these kids who have not missed a workout at all this summer.
Let me make something very clear. 570 pounds, my body would absolutely break in half. So kudos to you, Mr. Jaden Ferguson. As we enter the red zone, how about that tackle? Are you kidding me? Number 40, Robert Johnson, the 6'2", 220-pound defensive end with a huge tackle.
Able to get in that gap. You know, when you have this type of offense, if you can disrupt what goes on in the back and shoot the gap, you got a good chance of causing some problems. And that's exactly what Mr. Johnson did on that particular play. So, once again, third and double sticks. Ford came in. They don't like being in the situation. Let's see what they come up with here.
We go to the B-back, Myers. He's met almost immediately. A couple, you can see right there, number 27. Keon Rivers. I think that's his third tackle already on the game for Rivers. That's a big, strong middle linebacker. So we see Cane Bay bring on the kick team.
And it appears that Cane Bay's trying to really work that middle, test that middle to maybe open up the outside. So it's one of those situations where you're kind of setting them up, kind of, you know, get Beaufort to kind of keep pinching in, and then you hit them big with the run outside. So, again, a solid drive, but they got to be able to convert. Let's see if they can add 3 here.
It's going to be McKean on the hold, and we mentioned he did the kickoff duties too. This kid, he's a soccer player as well. That's your middle linebacker, Parker Osborne, attempting the kick. It's going to be up. Let's see. And it's good. It just barely sneaks in there, but I don't ask you that in the box score. Osborne, he gets the Cobras on the board.
Finally, a nice drive, capped off with some points. Russell's there happy. Now it's time for the defense to hold Beaufort on the other end.
Well, the Cobras, they were able to respond with points. They cut that deficit to just 7, so we head to a quick break.
And again, Scoop 50/50 raffle tickets available for you until the end of the second quarter. $2 per ticket, 3 for $5. And don't forget, Scoop 50/50 open till midnight on game days.
Hey, man, it's week 0.
It's week 0. Just a little tip, Jack, if you want people out in the low country to hear you, you have to turn your mic on.
Hey, man, that shiny red button sitting right in front of me, for those at home, turning it on, really, really important for you to be able to hear me. So I made myself look like a fool. What I was trying to tell you, that this 2023 Preferred Home Services Friday Night Rivals driven by Cruz Chevrolet, we had a good one so far, Ev.
I'd say offensively, defensively, it seems like both teams are now slowly but surely starting to settle in. They've got the nerves out, the excitement of the first game, and it's going to be a good one down the stretch.
Good kickoff. Kickoff corralled by number 24, Elias Johnson. We'll see Samari Bonds for the third time early into this one, but Everett, let's maybe take a look back in order for this to gotta go your favorite. Let's take a look at the Cruz Chevrolet keys to the game. Cruz Chevrolet on Rivers, just north of Northwoods Mall. You got a friend at Cruz Chevy.
It's the same for both teams. Whoever can win in the trenches. You don't want to fall behind too much because both teams prefer, no pun intended there, you see I did that, Jack, prefer to run the football. So if you fall behind by a touchdown or two, then it forces you to throw the football. So keep it within striking distance. And then who is going to be able to throw the ball? Right now, Beaufort has been able to throw, and that's why they have the lead.
You know, it's interesting, too. You're talking about keeping it within striking distance. Both of these coaches mentioned the importance of time of possession, controlling the rock. But I would be remiss to mention, got a shout out to Scott Eisberg. We told him we'd shout him out with the pun, and that's our first unbelievable great dad pun of the year with your preferred slide in there. But I think, too, Samari Bond's been so impressive, but I've been equally impressed up front with Cane Bay's offensive line. They're going to allow them to keep in touch of this game. It almost feels like whoever's going to have the ball last tonight is going to have a really good shot to win it.
I mean, there's some big boys down there in the trenches, offense and defense for both squads. So, now we really look like a genius because, yes, those guys are going to really dictate this as Bonds is on the loose once again.
Able to break the tackle on the outside. It was number 32, Braden Payton. He's done a really good job of kind of maintaining that outside playing discipline. Defensive end football, but that time Bonds is a little good. Able to beat the tackle, a gain of 6. Beaufort looking at a 3rd and 4.
Parker Osborne. I think he's done everything tonight except maybe sell popcorn. I mean, he's middle linebacker. He's the kicker. You know, he's getting people in position. Having a great game so far. But again, another big 3rd down coming up here for Beaufort. And this is normally where Mr. Bonds has excelled because he just makes plays. And we're going to have a timeout, Jack.
I was going to say, Cane Bay went to a 4-3 defense, and Bryce Librand, head coach of Beaufort, wants to take another look at it, so he'll call a timeout. You saw them roll that nickel, that 4-3 hybrid back. We'll tell you a little bit more about that defensive schematics as we'll take a quick break. Remind you that this ball game, Preferred Home Services, Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. It's Beaufort 10, Cane Bay 3.
This will be a television timeout. Once again, fans, the Athletic Booster Club would like to thank their new corporate sponsors, or their corporate sponsors, not necessarily new. Corporate sponsors for the year, Scoop 50-50.
7:02 left in the second quarter. It's Beaufort 10, Cane Bay 3. It's been the Samari Bond show to this point tonight, Everett. It was once a runner in just a sophomore campaign. He's been spectacular throwing the ball through the air tonight.
In today's times, Jack, you got to have guys that can make plays. When things break down, you need somebody. Even when you look like in the NFL now, some of your better quarterbacks, the Patrick Mahomes, the Jalen Hurts, the Aaron Rodgers, those guys, they just have to figure it out on the run, and that's what Bonds has been able to do thus far.
How about that? Great little stick and poke. Nice curl route from Amari Patterson, the freshman. That's his second catch of the night, but
so it'll be 4th down and 1.
May have not just been a yard short. A 3-yard dump off the Patterson. Let's see if Coach Librand leaves the offense on the field.
And nice coverage by Donnell, the pass, because if he's not there, he can turn and pick up that additional yard or 2. So great defense there. Big decision here. It'd be a gamble. I got to tell you, Jack, if I had number 1 on my team, again, we're going to run I pro right C play. You just run right and see what you can do.
There he is. Oh, a big hit from number 33. That was Hayden Cooley. It looked like Bonds had it without a doubt. Maybe it won't matter as the late Hankey came on the field.
Yeah, about to say Beaufort wasn't set. Because what happened was Bonds was trying to hurry to the under center, and kind of sneak. You got to let people get set, and he did. So I'm pretty sure now.
I was going to say they actually deferred and said that the play was short.
Yeah.
So Cane Bay will take over from their own 44. It was the first time we've seen Samari Bonds under center tonight, trying to get a little tricky. We've seen this Bryce Librand offense get really creative, but this time it was that front four and the late hit from number 33, Hayden Cooley, that kept Bonds just shy of the first down marker.
Once again, winning in the trenches, getting your pads lower than your opposition. That's what resulted in that stop for Cane Bay. The Cobras take over.
This time Stewart, he's going to lunge forward for a quick 5 in the backfield. It was number 10, Hudson Mullen.
Picks up about 3.
Mullen, free safety junior.
I was about to say, I'm sorry, Jack, we've yet to see Stewart attempt the pass. So you got to think it's coming. Like, you let him keep creeping up, get that safety to walk up, and then actually hit him with the big play.
We joked about it during this week. You watch the Citadel, Army, Navy, teams that are really opt to run that triple option. It's always that one big play, receiver stretching down the seams. Tonight we haven't seen that pass yet as Stewart is going to be tackled behind the line of scrimmage. Maybe a little scrum. That ball come loose.
It was him against 5 white jerseys. Definitely not a lot of running room that time for Stewart. Beaufort's acting as if they came up with the fumble, but they did not. So it's like the Cobras are going to have it third down and long.
I was going to say, I'm not sure if it was ever up for question, but what wasn't a question was the big hit from Will Coating, that middle linebacker. The junior standing tall at about 210 pounds, a big-time hit to potentially jar that ball loose.
And not a lot of third and short situations for Cane Bay thus far. Everything seems to be third and at a minimum 5 or 6 yards. I'm sure Coach Zaire does not like to be in that situation. It kind of somewhat eliminates some of the plays because he does have to pick up great yardage. They've had a lot of success, Jack, running to kind of like the wide side of the field. Of course, the ball, as I say that, the ball's in the middle of the field this time. But anyway, looks like, Jack, we have a timeout on the field.
It'll be interesting, too, when we see him come out of this timeout, knowing that both teams aren't scared to obviously go for it on 4th down. You try to get it all back at once. You understand you're just trying to set up for a 4th and short situation. It'll be interesting to see what the play call looks like.
Great shots tonight from our guys out there in the end zone.
That red zone sky shots. I mean, come on. Got to shout out our guys on the camera. Also, shout out TEC Equipment Rental. We rent the good stuff. They're providing the scissor lift all season long for us. As you see, our incredible staff and crew couldn't do it without them. We put on the best broadcast, I think, in the entire state. All thanks to these guys. You know, I think these are such cool opportunities, too. I mean, this video, being on TV, getting to play in front of friends and family, you'll be able to keep this for a lifetime.
Exactly. This may be some of their only opportunities to play the game on football, so just glad that, Jack, I get to work with you and, you know, be a part of these kids' dream, which is playing on TV on Friday Night Rivals, presented by Preferred Home Services.
Driven by Cruz Chevrolet. Let's see if Tompkins can drive something towards that first down marker. He took nothing and turned it into something. A huge hit at the end of the play. Number 25, Tyleek Isom. But Deshaun Tompkins, are you kidding me? Excuse me. That's number 7, Bryson Johnson. I saw the speed. Just assumed it was Tompkins. But Johnson takes maybe a little bit of a bad pitch, scoops it with one hand, and takes it to a 4th and manageable.
Safe to say the ball bounced the right way for him on that particular play. You talked about it. It was basically 2-play territory because of where they were on the field. So now a very manageable 4th and short coming up for Cane Bay.
And it looks like they're going to have enough to pick it up.
Langston Rhodes on the carry.
They had to get to the 30, had to get across the 35. They're 34, Jax. I believe you're right.
I was going to say a little late. I'm not sure if it was a late push or a ball jarred loose. See some pushing and shoving, but it's Bryson Johnson again. The junior running back has been spectacular. As you see, maybe a helmet pop off of the junior right guard, Jaden Smith. Maybe that's why he was upset. You see Bryce Librand really upset after the play.
Is he thinking there was maybe a late hit? Because the way he went.
We can see that's number 27, Keon Rivers. We're hoping it was just the wind knocked out, and we won't speculate on injury. The athletic training staff of Beaufort tending to Rivers. Librand looked really upset, and maybe to your point, could it have been a late hit?
I mean, he's giving the referees the business. He must have seen exactly what happened. He is not happy with the referees right now.
We see the helmet come off of number 76, Jaden Smith. He looked quite animated after the play as we take a look. The Cane Bay student section as we allow Rivers to breathe a bit.
I remember back in the high school days, Jack, for me, 10 years ago, when, Friday nights, that's what you did. You play football. If you didn't play football, you out in the student section having a good time. And I tell you what, Jack, I don't know what happened, but Coach Librand, he is very hot right now. He is still, as you can see, take a look there, arms crossed. Great guy. Enjoyed really getting to talk with him. Good to see that young man up. Granted, he needs some assistance, but
looks like he's favoring that right leg, and we won't speculate on injury, but Keon Rivers being helped often.
And another late flag, so someone just, I'm assuming, did not wish somebody a happy birthday.
Flag thrown during the
hey, man, week 0, hey, the emotions are high. You got the opportunity to play in front of your student section. You saw Cane Bay has come out and just provided such an incredible Friday night atmosphere. Sometimes emotions can get away from you.
Well, you want to fight for your kids, but you also have to keep that composure because now especially in a close game as we have here tonight between Beaufort and Cane Bay, you really can't afford to give up free yardage. And that was a free 15 yards. That results, down a West Shore home first down.
So they'll enter the red zone, too, brought to you by Trident Technical College. It's Tompkins, a sweet true move to get inside the 10. That about an 8-yard pickup, and it's more Hankies.
Yeah, 76, the big guy. Definitely did a little taunting there, Mr. Lamb. And unfortunately, when you're that big and you're that athletic, if you do something, people are going to notice it. And that's exactly what happened.
I was going to say, I'm not sure, too, if they're looking to police the game in their own manner. Maybe the second late hit we've seen, he's maybe trying to take matters into his own hands as we see that number 25, Tyleek Isom.
First of all, let's talk about Mr. Lamb, the big guy from his defensive line position, making the tackle down the field. That type of athleticism is going to get him offers to play at the next level. Very impressive, but as you mentioned, unfortunately, another Beaufort Eagle down, and hopefully everything's okay for him.
I was going to say, it's been too incredible of a ball game to this point for calm heads not to prevail. You can see Coach Librand still really upset, taking a look at that Cane Bay sidelines as he's just hoping that his players are going to get up healthy. He waves them off, and it looks like Isom's going to get back to his feet and be okay. Yeah, let's talk more about Lamb, too, Never, because you talk about the talent, right? Talk about the work ethic, too. Coach Librand filled us in. He cut close to 30 pounds this offseason. He's standing about 6'5", 295. His Instagram handle, LA So Smooth.
Yeah.
At that kind of weight to be able to move that clean, Coach Librand, I'd give him a pat on the shoulder as well.
Well, coaching this team up. Right now, this is where a good kind of timeout, both coaching staffs telling the kids, hey, settle down, play with emotion, don't play emotional. And another flag as a delay of game is called. Not sure who it's against. But right now, what has been a very promising game of legal substitution against Beaufort. And I'm surprised, Jackie, as you can see, Beaufort still has all 3 timeouts. Coach Librand had just call the timeout to just everyone settle down, just relax, come up with a big stop here.
From the 2.
Just on the 2-yard line, they'll look to pound it in. He'll keep it. How about the touchdown? For number 9, the senior quarterback, Mark Stewart. Stewart kept it. Yeah, flex those muscles, young man, as he was able to power into the end zone. Have a Trident Technical College touchdown. Your future, your college. Cane Bay faithful brings them to their feet.
Nice job executing the fake, and then took his time and ran right around that left side. The big hogs up front leading him into the end zone. A decorated touchdown, not from Martha Stewart, but from Mark Stewart.
I love that, man. Hopefully his buddies around campus will start calling him Martha Stewart. I don't know if he's ever gotten it before, but we'll give all credit to you.
I'm just going to say I've been known to give people nicknames that have, well, let's just say taken off and put money in their pockets.
Well, Parker Osborne, PAT, is going to tie this ball game up.
And this is what we expected. Two solid football teams going head-to-head. They've worked through the early game jitters. Now they've settled in, and we got a good one here in Cane Bay.
Well, it was your second Cruz Chevrolet key to the game, right? Keep it within striking distance. And knew this Cane Bay team, too veteran coached, to not let this thing get out of the way.
Right.
But my question for you, Everett, I think taking advantage of mistakes, right? Talking to Coach Lybrand, hey, man, it's almost going to be like which team is kind of better prepared to handle adversity early on.
And what you would think normally when you have a team like Beaufort that's coming off of a state championship game, they probably had to face all type of adversity last year to get to that point. So you would think on paper it would be Beaufort, but no panic in Cane Bay. Obviously they fell behind early. Beaufort was moving the ball pretty much all throughout this first half, but they only have 10 points to show for it. So if you're Russell Zill, you're like, hey, guys, we've kind of weathered the storm. Now let's go out there and play Cane Bay football. They got to stop on the last possession against Beaufort, went down, capitalized, had some assistance from Beaufort because of the penalties, but you got to take advantage of your opponent's mistakes. So far, so good for Beaufort. Now let's see what Beaufort, I should say, so far so good for Cane Bay. Now let's see how Beaufort responds.
Osborne with a booming kick to Elias Johnson will take him back to the 8. Break a couple tackles until he's pushed out of bounds at around the 30-yard line.
Takes it out near the 31.
As we'll take a look back. This replay brought to you by Preferred Home Services. Go Preferred, the company highly referred. This, the kickoff. But again, hey, weeks here we're looking through. But that Mark Stewart touchdown, you like the decision to hold on to it and kind of carry yourself in the end zone instead of worrying about, hey, you're just on the one. Why not go to the B-back?
Well, and he'd been giving it to the fullback all that drive. So I'm pretty sure they were pinching him, didn't expect him to pull it out. Great decision-making by the quarterback, Stewart, and that's why he was able to really go into the end zone untouched.
Quick little dump off. This is the first we've seen tonight from
Bond pass complete to Carson Hurst.
Still
Picks up
working
about
fine.
7.
Nice little dump off. Did his shoe fall off there? And derailed the pass.
And that's how you kind of get in rhythm with your quarterback. You don't necessarily need to throw the bomb. Just those short, quick passes, kind of get in rhythm. Then once they start backing off, then that's when you can kind of hit them with that run game. So a nice job by the offensive staff there at Beaufort to kind of switch it up a little bit, give them a different look because so far they've just been seeing run, except for the busted big plays.
It's a quick handoff. Caleb Ulmer breaks a tackle out to the 48. That about a 12-yard gain for Caleb Ulmer to move the sticks.
Takes it out to midfield.
MJ Davis on the stop for the Cobras. Once again, just getting an arm out. You don't necessarily need to always wrap up and, get them on the ground. Sometimes if you can just get a shoestring, get a shoe, a foot just to trip them up and get them off balance, that's good enough. And that's exactly what happened there for MJ Davis.
See Caleb Ulmer right before that play, kind of picking up the tempo. They go to the quarterback design draw right there. That first down brought to you by West Shore Home.
Langston Rhodes, as well as Parker Osborne on the stop for Cane Bay. You got to think, if you're Coach Liebren, you just want to use all this clock, get a score before you go into the locker room. Of course, Cane Bay will get the ball to start the second half. So big drive here coming up for Beaufort.
Whew, that ball came out. Not a very clean handoff between Ulmer and right here. Still no signal quite yet. I'm not sure if Bonds was able to jump back on it. It looks like he was able to. It wasn't a clean snap from the get-go. Cane Bay almost takes advantage of another Beaufort mistake.
Bonds got lucky there because normally they tell you to just fall on it. Don't try to pick it up and run. I know he's a great athlete, but in that situation, you just want to get down, cover it up. So a break there for Beaufort.
I was going to say athlete's kind of athlete, right? You can't take him out of that situation. He was looking to pick it up and take off for another 5 or 6 yards. But Bonds able to fall on it, looking at a 3rd and 5. Shotgun. He's taking a big, deep shot down the sidelines. It's the pass and McKean in coverage. And it looks like they're going to get McKean with a DPI.
Yeah, it looks like a defensive pass interference. Looked like he got him around the collar. And that's one of those fly routes. Just simply run straight down the field. I'm going to throw it as far as I can. And I've always said, Jack, that's a smart play because even if you don't complete the pass, at least it loosens the secondary up. or you can get fortunate enough and draw a pass interference. That's what happened.
I was going to say, I think Coach Library had shown they have zero fear going for it on fourth down, especially fourth and just as short as we were looking, just a 4th and 5. If the penalty wasn't thrown, and with the accuracy of Samari Bonds, you got to take the deep shot into
and I could see why he's excited about these playmakers on the outside. Those guys can flat out fly. They have good size. So, yes, you can just throw it up and let those guys go and get it.
And here's what I've been really impressed with. 6 completions. This is going to be the 7th. And a perfect point is Ulmer's tackle in the backfield. Really nice tackle by McKean as we're looking at 2nd and 10. So now 7-11. He's thrown for 141 is Samari Bonds. What I've been so impressed with, now to 5 different receivers. 7 completions to 5 different receivers. He's not honing in on one guy. He's going through his progressions and finding that check down guy when needed.
Well, that one, as you just saw, one of the receivers derailed the pass. A little better blocking down the field. That could have been a big play, the swing pass out of the backfield, but he couldn't quite get in front of that cornerback, and that allowed him to come up and make that stop.
So he looks to break a tackle on the outside. Misses on the arm tackle is number 24, Langston Rhodes.
Steps out of bounds.
Bonds will be pushed out of bounds late.
Pickup of 3 is going to be
stiff arm of Bonds to be able to get by Rhodes just to keep that play rolling.
And the timing was off. It looked like the snap was not direct, and that kind of allowed Cane Bay to get a jump on that snap. So that could have been disastrous. But once again, Samari Bonds able to make something out of nothing.
Picks up just a 2-yard gain.
You see here, well, couldn't see the beginning of the snap, but good stiff arm there and able to just get what he can. A little late shove.
Preferred Home Services replay show. Just picked up 2 yards as we're looking at 3rd and 7. Quick little out route to the pass. Great tackle on the outside, but the pass just keeps moving the legs and should move the chains.
Just keep those legs churning. That's why you do those summer workouts. It pays off in that situation. You got to think, it was the pass against 2 defenders, and the pass able to get to it. Man, 6'4", 180-pound senior. He's a player.
And I told you, he ran a 4.47 at the South Carolina Gamecock Combine. But how about the efficiency in the route running? I saw the 4.47 seem to really stick it into that route, but the turn, catch, and to show the power to run through a guy, really impressive.
You know, Jack, there was one time I ran a 4.410. So the fact that this kid's running 4.440s, I mean, I guess it's somewhat impressive. But as we see an incomplete pass there. But, no, you're right, Jack, to be able to have that type of speed. But more importantly, it's all about the route running. That's what's going to make the difference between being a potentially good college player and being one that will garner him some offers, because he has the speed, he has the hands. Can he be disciplined enough to run his routes the way that they're supposed to?
Now 2nd and 10. Bonds joined the backfield with Caleb Ulmer.
I'm going to the top of the screen. Look at that mismatch.
Oh, look at it. He found it, and that's going to be picked off. Deflected by number 17, Malachi Dickerson, and it's McKean still on his feet, and he's going to be tackled at the 28-yard line. Bonds, the special arm talent. A great throw, but an even better play by Malachi Dickerson, who jumped that route and tipped to McKean.
Bend but don't break. That's been the theme for the Cobra defense all night long. Again, throwing on the run. A good job of just getting a hand out, just enough to change the direction of the pass. McKean comes up with the interception, looking to take it to the house. Couldn't quite do it, but more importantly, he keeps the Eagles off the scoreboard.
What an unbelievable play. The junior corner, Jonas McKean. Now Cane Bay back on the offensive. I know people are going to laugh at me at home when I said it was a good ball from Bonds. I thought it was a great throw. I thought the pass had beaten McKean on the high post. But, wow, did Malachi Dickerson, the junior free safety, come out of nowhere to make a great play?
Well, it's almost like he went into traffic. If he just ran straight ahead and thrown it up, it would have been a jump ball. Probably would have had a better chance there. But, again, you got to give credit to that defense. That's the old tip drill. And, of course, when you get to yell Oski, that means turn, look around, and just find somebody with the other color jersey to just lay out. So you have a timeout taken here by Cane Bay. It looks like Coach Zaire is going to try to get something on the board in this last 33 seconds, take that momentum going into the locker room, because the Cobras get the ball to start the second half.
It's been a tale of 2 quarters, right? It was all Beaufort all the time in that first. They controlled the ball. But all of a sudden, this triple option, starting to keep that ball away from Samari Bonds. Maybe offensively, I think Coach Zaire said, hey, we like to run it and control the football. Then all of a sudden other teams that kind of get out of their game plan, maybe trying to force something on that last throw, as now Cane Bay, they'll take control of the rock, and their student section's thrilled about it.
Exactly. It's all about that ball control. So if you can go on long, extended drives, keep that clock moving, that does put pressure on the defense. So, again, with 33 seconds, I think Coach is probably going to play it somewhat safe here. You don't want to give it right back to them.
He's going to hand to that A back. It's the big fella, Bryson Johnson.
Bryson Johnson on the carry.
You know, it's been interesting. Langston Rhodes is the B-back usually. He was an all-region B-back player last year. Haven't really heard his name a lot. I've seen a lot on defense, but it's been a lot of Bryson Johnson and Deshaun Tompkins' name.
You know, a lot of guys playing both ways on both sides of the ball. So it's almost, you wonder if they kind of conserve their energy on one side. Because, again, as we know, Jack, this one's going to be a fourth quarter game.
Absolutely. As you see that clock ticking down, it's going to be right inside 4 seconds. Looks like Cane Bay and Coach Zaire is going to be cool to take it at halftime. You see Mark Stewart a little upset, maybe wanted to go for it and take a shot. But Cane Bay are going to be cool, taking it to the locker room. All tied up, 10-10. What a 7-0 run here in that second quarter from Cane Bay. I'm really impressed with their ability to bounce back after facing a lot of adversity in that first quarter.
Exactly. Like you said, a tale of two quarters. Beaufort won the first, Cane Bay won the second. That's why we're now tied, at 10-10. Both teams so well, Coach. I expect both coaches to go in, make some adjustments. They have a feel for each other now. They know what the other team's trying to do. As we say, MTA, who's going to make the adjustments?
Well, before we head to halftime, it looks like we've got Coach Zaire with Trooper Bob to hear about his first half thoughts.
Yeah, I'm here with the coach. Coach, you were able to tie the game up with around 4 minutes left. A big interception. How happy are you with your team?
Well, I'm excited the way we finished, but not with the way we started. I mean, we knew they were going to be big, that we knew they were going to be fast, that we knew they were going to be physical, and we wasn't ready. That's partly on me, but, these kids, they don't listen when you tell them something. So we know what we got now. We'll come out in the second half, hopefully a little more prepared, and we'll see what we can do in the second half.
Thank you for your time. Best of luck in the second half. One thing I can tell you can't ignore is the heat. The sun has set, but the heat index is still close to 90 degrees here on the field, guys.
Vox Bellator. You may have heard her sing the national anthem tonight as well.
But Trooper
We're very proud of her.
Trooper Bobby nailed it right on the head. He talked about physicality. Well, there was a whole lot of that in the first half. Well, we'll come back with our halftime report here in just a few. But tonight, it's Preferred Home Services Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet, Cane Bay 10, Beaufort 10.
Welcome to the Doctor's Implants Halftime Report.
Each week, the Thumb Up guys are proud to highlight a scholar athlete from each participating school. The student selected will have an opportunity to win a $5,000 scholarship at the end of the season. Tonight's scholar athletes are, first for Cane Bay, it's Haley Jones. Take a look at that GPA, a 5.23. I actually didn't know it could go that high. A 2-year captain of the cross-country team, lettered 4 years in cross-country, and actually 3 years in track as well. In the community, Haley is a youth leader for her church, coaches gymnastic classes at the Goose Creek Rec Department, and babysits throughout her community as well. We shout out to you, Haley Jones. And actually, on the other sideline, for Beaufort, it's actually William Kieserling. Again, how about that matching GPAs? A 5.2338, 5.233 for William. William is a member of the National Honor Society, an AP Capstone Diploma member, an AP Scholar with Honors, and a junior marshal. Obviously, you can see a stud soccer player in Kieserling. He got the big field goal in PAT tonight on the football field as well. And in the community, he's a Boy Scout of America, a church youth group member, a Gen-Pal student growing to help the elderly as well. We shout out to you as well, William Kieserling.
So to be able to give back, checks the box for us to give back to the community, and also in the athletic department, that's fun for us.
I know you've got one really athletic partner there in the Thumbs Up guys.
Yeah, a little shout out to my partner Jeffrey Ward. Walked
Rivals this year presented by the Thumbs Up guys. Brandon Dawson, one of the Thumbs Up guys, a Porter Goud Cyclone. How exciting is this for you guys to jump into the high school sports realm, if you will?
Yeah, it's a bit nostalgic, right? All four of us played high school sports, so to be able to give back, checks the box for us to give back to the community, and also in the athletic department, that's fun for us.
I know you've got one really athletic partner there in the Thumbs Up guys.
Yeah, a little shout out to my partner Jeffrey Ward. Walked on at Georgia. He's certainly the best athlete in the office, but I wouldn't tell him that.
When you think about this year and at the end of it we get to pick a winner, how exciting for you guys to be able to present that check and see somebody move up to the next level?
That's just so exciting. We know how hard it is to work not only in the classroom, but also then right after class, go play sports, commit hours of your time to that, and to help them and support them in their journey forward. It's just such a fun ability for us to do.
Awesome. That's Brandon Dawson from the Thumbs Up guys. We look forward to presenting with them all season long here on Friday Night Rivals.
C-B-A. Cobras, let's get down, yo. Green, white, let's go. Let's fight. Green, white.
Friday Night Rivals this year presented by
Fans, stop what you're doing right now. We're giving you an opportunity of a lifetime to vote for tonight's Delta Force All-Stars Cheer of the Game. Log on to abcnews4.com/poll and vote for either of tonight's cheer squads. I think we're going to start with the Beaufort Eagles cheer team, but please go cast a vote for the Delta Force All-Stars Cheer of the Game results. We'll show them later tonight in the show, and believe first we're going to show the Beaufort Eagles cheer team.
Green, white, let's go. Let's fight. 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 Slow. Green, white, let's go. Let's fight. Green, white, let's go. Let's fight. Let's go, people! Here we go!
Right on! 1, 2.
C-B-A. Cobras, let's get down, yell blue. Black, yell and blue. Black. Cobras, get down, get loud, yell C-B-H. C-B-H. Cobras, get down, get loud, yell blue. Black, yell and C-B-H. Blue. Black. C-B-H. Say, let's go, Cobras!
Welcome to the Doctor's Implants Halftime Report.
So we welcome you back into the 2023 Preferred Home Services Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. We got to remind you, after the game, make sure to switch over to News 4. Get complete highlights from all of the action around the Low Country with News 4 Sports Director Scott Eisberg and new Webb Wright. Friday Night Rivals on News 4 starts at 11:20, and I'm telling you right now, it's not up for grabs. Scott Eisberg's the best of the business.
Or 11:05. If they go 11:20, Jack, they're going to miss 15 minutes of the show.
You know what though? I think the news goes first. I did know a guy that did it for a little bit. Go watch at 11:05 because I could be wrong.
But you know what? You are. But you know what you're not wrong about?
What's that?
Eisberg is the man. That guy can come up with stories about anything. Him looking forward to have Webb here in the Low Country, his first time on the Friday Night Rivals show. So I will do it as well. Watching Eisberg and Webb tonight at 11:05 for all of Week 0 action around the Low Country.
We'll worry about the rest of the games later. Let's worry about the one at hand now because it's a good one. Let's send it down to Trooper Bob. He's got Bryce Librand on the field. Got to hear his thoughts as they get ready for the second half.
Coach, 10-10, still got a lot of game left, still got the second half. What was the message to your team at halftime to keep their spirits in the game?
Just keep playing. They're playing really hard. Little thing here or there, just got to stay in it. So I think we'll be okay.
Thank you very much for your time, Coach. Best of luck in the second half. There you have it. You heard it. I'll send it back to you guys.
Well, Coach Librand, short to the point. He understands what it's going to take for his team to win. Like we said, the team that he wanted to challenge up front. Yeah. He talked about it last year. He went and played Fort Dorchester, not on accident. He wanted to put his guys to the test. What happened? They won 13 straight on their way to a state championship. Tonight, they got their hands full with what is a really good Cane Bay team.
And something that I thought really caught my eye, shows you the mentality that he has as he's trying to really build this thing into a sustainable, just dominant team in Beaufort. He said, you know what, I'd rather go, 9-4 going in or after the playoffs, win a state title and be tested than, be 13-1, schedule a bunch of W's. He's not about that life. He wants his team to be tested. Scrimmaging wise, I think they scrimmaged Somerville earlier in the summer. He said that did not go well. So I think the lessons learned from those scrimmages, and they're on display right here tonight. And like you mentioned, Cane Bay, a solid football team, one that no doubt in my mind will be playing in the postseason because that's just what Russell Zier does. He gets his teams ready, and to be able to I'm interested to see what's going to happen in the second half. Now that they've gotten all of the flutters out the way, they can settle in. Each team can play their respective football that they know they can, offensively, defensively. And I think, Jack, the team that can make the least amount of mistakes here in the second half. You talked about it could be just that one play that could be the difference in this game. But whoever can eliminate some of the eliminate some of the penalties, also not put the ball on the ground, they're going to win this game tonight.
Well, I think you had the line of the night, Everett. You want to play with emotions, not get emotional, and I think we saw a lot of those yellow hankies based off of some emotional decisions. But kudos Cane Bay for taking advantage of some of those miscues. But for me, I think you got to feel really good about where you are if you're Beaufort. You make a ton of mistakes, yet it starts over. It's a 0-0 ball game here in the second half, and Samari Bonds looked great in that first quarter.
Yeah, he did. He's taking a look at the stats. He was 8 for 14, did have one interception, but threw for 149 yards. Also running-wise, ran for 13 yards and 10 carries, scored the lone touchdown for the Eagles. Receiving-wise, you talked about it, Jack. They have spread the ball around. Odom's got 2 catches, 49 yards. Patterson, 2 catches for 48 yards. DePass has 2 catches for 42 yards. But again, for Beaufort, it's eliminating those mental mistakes. 8 penalties in the first half for 76 yards. That's a lot for a football team. Conversely, Cane Bay, 4 penalties for 38 yards. But you think back to those 8 penalties, I want to say 3 or 4 of them came on that drive that allowed Cane Bay to score the tying touchdown.
I was going to say, Coach Librand obviously a little frustrated with his bunch, but it was 8 penalties, 1 interception, the only turnover of the game, and all of a sudden your stale team's right in it. You take a look at those first halftime stats, 10 first down to 8, really equal. But obviously haven't seen Cane Bay go to the air. We talked about it in our Chevrolet Cruise keys to the game, who was going to make the big pass in the air. And I'm telling you, you look at it right there, it's just a little bit off kilter.
Yeah, how you look at it, I think looks like we got the stats. Yeah, we got the stats reversed because actually it's Cane Bay that has not completed a pass. But you're right. We've not seen them put the ball in the air yet. They have been able to run the football, but now second half right around the corner.
As we get ready to head to break, it's going to be the story who can control the football here in the second half. Make sure you don't go anywhere. We're just getting started. It's the 2023 Preferred Home Services Friday Night Rivals driven by Cruz Chevrolet. Underway is number 11, Brendan Ford. It kicks off our second half. 2023 Preferred Home Services Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. Big-time kick from Ford. The score all knotted up, the tale of 2 quarters. Who do you think needs to make the first punch here in the second half, Everett?
Well, considering that Cane Bay is going to get the ball first, we'll go with Cane Bay, but both teams now have a chance to make a statement. Obviously, Cane Bay on the offensive side, but obviously from the Beaufort standpoint, if they can force a 3 and out, they got to get that momentum shifted back to them. So they had it all in the first quarter. Cane Bay had it in the second quarter. Now let's see who's going to establish that here in the third.
Is that really? I was just curious. This is where you find out if this team, unlike last year, does this team have that championship pedigree? How do they respond after a quarter that they want to forget about? It's Mark Stewart. That ball's going to be fumbled. A little bit of a miscue of a handoff. Who's going to come up with it? And it looks like it's going to be the big fella, Adrian Lamb. It looks like he's going to fall on that miscue of a handoff from Mark Stewart. We talked about not making mistakes, and there's a big one right off the bat.
And I can assure you, you're not getting that football away from that young man, Mr. Lamb. We talked about not putting the ball on the ground, not making mistakes. In the first play of the second half, the Cobras not only put it on the ground, but look where the fumble occurred right there. It just looked like the timing was off. Stewart tried to stretch out, couldn't quite do it. And Johnny on the spot, Mr. Lamb, and first down and 10 from the 20-yard line. You couldn't ask for a better start in the second half than this for Coach Liebring.
There's the Shrine Bowl invite falling on at Adrian Lamb. Now the pump fake. They're going to go right to the end zone. It was Patterson, covered by McKean. Great coverage. Great help over the top for number 17, Malachi Dickerson. I love it. Make the miscue, and they wanted to make him hurt right away.
Well, in those situations, if you're going to miss, you want to miss high. It was a situation where only his teammate could catch it, no one on the defense. So it was thrown in the double team. I'm fine with that. Like you said, go for the juggler on that first play after the turnover. Now it's second down, but still, it's second and 10. You're at the 20-yard line. So worst case scenario, in your mindset, you have to think, at worst case, I need to come away with at least 3 points. But depending on what he does on this down and the next one will dictate if this is 4-down territory.
He's going to dump it off to number 7, Jameen Odom. He was joining the backfield. He had me fooled upstairs. A great play fake. Number 4, Jaden Andrews, senior running back. The first we're seeing of him tonight, but a nice catch and run from Jameen Odom.
Keaton Cooley and Parker Osborne on the stop. We've said both of those gentlemen's names several times tonight. Didn't necessarily need to get him on the ground, but just get him out of bounds. And now a huge third down. We'll see, Jack. We're in the red zone. Is this going to be 2-down territory, or what is Beaufort going to do here?
That just a 3-yard gain, as it looks like Beaufort's looking at 3rd and 7. So we entered the TEC equipment rental red zone. It'll be Bonds. Nice little sidearm toss. This is the first we're seeing of the tight end tonight. It was number 88, Jaden Priester, the sophomore, rumbling, tumbling. For it looks like a gain of just 2, as the Eagles are looking at about 4 and 3.
Yeah, Braden Payton was in position to make the play, just couldn't quite get the opponent on the ground. But at the end, so we take a look at Javi Bowman.
That is
nice.
nice.
They got him listed as 6. I'm sorry. I was thinking Cane Bay. For Beaufort, the big guy, I was about to say they got him listed as 6 foot 180. Yeah, he's not 180. Jaden Priester, that's the big guy who has slimmed down, still 5'10", 215 on the year.
On a catch is William Kiesling. That ball's going to be blocked. Who was the first on it? Did it look like Parker Osborne?
It looks like.
Maybe Keaton Cooley and Parker Osborne. William Kiesling, who's been automatic. Our scholar athlete has that one blocked as Osborne and Cooley burst through the line of scrimmage and special teams, making its impact felt here in the third quarter.
Jonas McKean, you see him there on the sideline. He's been all over the place tonight. Also got the interception. And we asked both coaches, Jack, about special teams. There's 3 components to every good football team: offense, defense, special teams. And that was the one area that both coaches weren't as confident as they were about the other 2. And comes the bite Beaufort in the butt there, not being able to capitalize on the turnover.
It's Cane Bay. Oh, he busts the tackle on the outside. It's Deshaun Tompkins. What looked like was going to be a loss of yardage. It looks like Tompkins with a huge 26-yard gain down the sidelines.
Isaac Small's there to wrap him down. That's why you never keep those legs. You got to keep them moving. You never want to stop, chop, chop, chop. You mentioned it, able to bounce around to the outside, and it was a sprint down the sideline. Good job by Tompkins not giving up on the play, going down on first initial contact.
I was going to say, it looked like the sophomore Jaden Simmons had him wrapped up for a loss of 2, and instead Tompkins, well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. They go back to Tompkins. He bounces it to the outside. It's going to be a gain of 11, but looks like a late hanky. We're curious to see what the call was on the field. Maybe a late block in the back, or curious if maybe got a hold of that face mask.
Dom Camacho and also Will Codling on the stop for the Eagles. You know, sometimes, Jack, when you're out there blocking, you don't necessarily have to fulfill your block. You just got to have to get in the way to allow your guy a little opportunity to get around.
Well, it looks like they're going to get the linebacker, Will Coding, on a face mask. You can see he and Camacho a little upset. Calling the field is Hudson Mullen. Mullen, the junior, goes and lifts the spirits of Camacho as Cane Bay back on attack. On the other side of the 50, again, his rushing attack so lethal as they hand it off to Bryson Johnson. Johnson to the outside for about an 8-yard gain. Cane Bay, they're really exposing that DN, that 3-4. They're getting past those outside linebackers right now.
Nice block that time by Langston Rhodes, being able to spring his teammate around the corner. And Cane Bay right now really having their way. They're making this Beaufort team run sideline to sideline, trying to tire them out. You heard Coach Zaire talk about it. He said, hey, we can just get it to the fourth quarter. We think that we can beat anybody because of their conditioning that they've done during the summer. So let's see if that comes into play. Right now, they are having their way in the trenches against Beaufort.
Well, that's the first we've seen of Cam Smalls tonight. Cam Smalls, that big-time 6-yard run pickup, to be good enough for a Mr. Sparky's, America's on-time electrician first down. Cam Smalls, he was on time when his name was called. He delivered.
And we heard about the thoroughbreds of running backs that both squads have. That ability to keep fresh guys in, that's huge, especially on a hot, muggy night like tonight here at Cane Bay. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my goodness.
Somebody get that field truck number, because yowzers, what a tough run. Running downhill, once again, was Bryson Johnson just laying the boom on the defenders in the secondary.
As you say, we're going to see a late penalty, because we go ahead and take a look at the replay here. Brought to you by Cruz Chevrolet on Rivers. I love the hit, though. Are you kidding me? How about Isaac Smalls? Gets sent back about a yard or two. Doesn't matter. Just keeps on fighting. But Bryson Johnson, he's running angry tonight.
That was a tough run. James Deaton had an opportunity to come up with the initial stop. It looked like he kind of lowered his head. And, you know, you can't tackle what you can't see. So you got to get that head up, get those arms around, and come up with a fundamental tackle. And as a result of him not doing that, that's what allowed, obviously, Bryson Johnson to pick up additional yards.
Well, again, we don't want to assume injury here, but it looks like that's number 25, Tyleek Isom. We saw him down on the right side of the field earlier today. Looked like a lower leg injury. As Coach Jair's curious what that, I think that penalty on the field is going to be. As Coach Librand tends to his player.
Tough night tonight. Both teams leaving it all on the field. Whichever team comes away with the win, they're going to feel really good about themselves, because they will know that they beat a quality opponent here tonight.
Despite a couple of miscues, I mean, you've really got to earn it. You talk first Cruz Chevrolet keys the game, battle in the trenches, and you could make that argument every Friday night. But I think tonight, especially with both teams, we're really trying to control the line of scrimmage and the rock as well.
Listen, when you got two teams that just want to run the football, you got to run block. As a big guy up front, that should just, you know, obviously get you going and know that you're going to be able to run block time and time and time again, get those legs moving, get those pads lower, and kind of reestablish that line. So you're right.
We saw number 76 for Cane Bay, Jaden Smith, coming off the floor gingerly. And for Beaufort, that is number 25, Tyleek Isom. You talked about it being such a hot and muggy night. Every time you see a guy go down, you just hope it's just maybe a cramp, and hopefully that these guys can remain healthy and have such incredible seasons. You just hate seeing as many guys as we've seen tonight going down.
And you want as many people, and that's one thing for both of these teams in terms of depth that could potentially come into play, whether it be fatigue or injuries. But you're right, you don't want to see anybody injured. As we get the call here.
Conduct against Beaufort.
It looks
like offsetting.
Offsetting penalties. I think there was penalties after the play on both sides. Again, we won't allude to who they were on just because of injury on the field. I'm not sure who they've got them on, but offsetting injuries. Johnson looks like he did appear on that 8-yard carry for a first down. And now Cane Bay looks like they're going to have the ball right on the 20. And they've entered that TEC equipment rental red zone yet again. Nice tackle by Hudson Mullen on the outside to take down number 4, Keyshawn Singleton, the junior running back, standing at 5'7", 165 pounds. He's a speedster. And we haven't even said his name yet tonight.
Well, another flag on the play. Thrown in the area of holding, and that's exactly what it is. Maybe that's why he was able to turn the corner because of the hold. But something interesting that last play, Jack. It seems like the flow of this Beaufort defense, like no one's staying at home. And if you look at that play, I would not surprise me if you see the quarterback, Mr. Stewart, Mark Stewart, maybe fake that handoff and like peel off himself because there literally was nobody on the backside. They're all kind of flowing to the football, which you like in terms of being aggressive, but you also, if you're that weak side defensive end, you got to stay at home just in case it is a bootleg.
Well, it's Stewart. Looks like he is going to keep it this time. Everett on cue. A big-time hit in the backfield from number 9, Dom Camacho, but not before the 11-yard pickup from Mark Stewart. They make him look like a genius up here. I see you.
Well, in football, they can play 7-on-7. On that situation, it was 9-on-9. It was 9 Stewart for Cane Bay against Camacho, 9 Beaufort, and they're lowering booms right here. They're sending messages like, hey, you're in the cold tub tomorrow. That's the type of defensive hits I like to see. And how about Stewart? You can't hurt me. He popped right back up. That's a tough quarterback right there for Cane Bay.
Senior quarterback winning the job this season, looking to put it all on the line in his last year of ball. He'll hand it off to Tyler Myers. Looks like he'll be stopped after about a 3-yard pickup. Yeah, I mean, you saw it. They had been attacking the outside. You saw the safeties roll down on that Beaufort 3-4. All of a sudden, it looked like they were putting almost 8 in the box. How'd you kind of see how they were going to pick apart? Looks like almost running right behind the guard instead of outside on the tackles.
Well, like I said, you got to keep them honest. And if they start cheating out, well, then that should open up the middle. So right now, it's just a matter of chess. The offensive of both units against the defense, who can make the adjustment, who can catch the other one falling asleep on the defensive end. But I tell you what, these teams are playing hard. These guys are leaving it on the field. And once again, Beaufort will try to keep the Cobras out of the end zone and off the scoreboard.
It looks like it's going to be Stewart to the outside again. Will he have enough for the first down? And he's going to be corralled. A great tackle. Number 8. The two-way stud, Caleb Ulmer. Ulmer, a really nice tackle. We've seen some arm tackles a little bit tonight, maybe shines of fatigue. That's a really nice tackle of Ulmer to really just put it on the quarterback.
Nice and small as well. And another holding call against Cane Bay, and it just seems like we talked about it. You're negating good plays with penalties, so you work so hard. As I'm trying to get an update. I know right now Beaufort has 9 penalties for 80 yards. Cane Bay, I believe they have 7 penalties for about 60. So penalties starting to get up there, and that's the sign of mental fatigue. You've got to be mentally tough. You got to finish.
And this sends them into a 3rd and long situation in that triple option. Almost deathly as they're looking at 3rd and 11. The Cobras have yet to make a pass attempt tonight. And why would you need to? You've been running behind Langston Rhodes, Deshaun Tompkins, and Mark Stewart, making all the right decisions. Let's see what they do on 3rd and long, though, as it looks like it's going to be Rhodes with the back. This going to be just the young senior, Jaden Andrews. Haven't seen a lot of him tonight, unable to get to the outside. Not sure if he even picked up a yard as he was met by the big fellow, the free safety, Hudson Mullen, a huge tackle on the outside.
Yeah, Jaden Simmons also on the stop for Beaufort, and that's what you want to do if you're on the defense. You want to string that out. We talked about it earlier. Don't let them turn up the field. Make them go east and west, not north and south. Great job by the Beaufort defense stringing that play out.
And I got to correct myself, Everett. That was actually number 4, Keyshawn Singleton. So many guys in that backfield at Cane Bay. I misspoke. Singleton, who, again, we've seen a few times, just the junior running back.
It was like a smorgasbord back there. Like, hey, okay, your turn. I'll get a couple of carries, your turn. But you know what? That's what you need, especially when you got guys playing, both ways. hot, humid night, you need to be able to have that fresh set of legs to attack these defenses.
Well, here's been the really interesting piece about this Cane Bay offense is you've seen a lot of different guys. Just 6:33. We'll tell you a little bit more about those guys as we head to break, reminding you that, this is Preferred Home Service Friday Night Rivals driven by Cruise Chevrolet. Don't go anywhere. We're getting it going here. This week's South Carolina Veteran of the Week is Sergeant Stephen Root. Sergeant Root joined the U.S. Marine Corps in 2000. He is a life member of the VFW Post 8131 in Greenwood, where he is the adjutant. He serves as a mentor in the Veterans Treatment Court of the South Carolina 8th Circuit Solicitor, volunteers with homeless veterans organizations in and around Greenwood County, and has earned leadership positions of a worshipful master and is a 32-degree Mason in the Scottish Rite Masons. To learn more about Sergeant Stephen Root, visit scdva.sc.gov Veteran Week. You can also nominate someone to be recognized. South Carolina Veteran of the Week is sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Veteran Affairs. And as you see there, as we finish up the Veteran of the Week, a shout-out to Sergeant Stephen Root and a really nice play on the backside from number 21, Zachariah Norris.
Yeah, tried to hit the wheel route there. Cane Bay did. Tried to get it to Deshaun Tompkins coming out of the backfield. Not able to do it on that fourth down play, and as a result, the Eagles will take over on turnover on downs.
And excuse me, that was number 21, Isaac Smalls. I think it's been really interesting. A lot of injuries in that backfield. Seeing guys step up. We've seen Isaac Smalls on the offensive side of the ball. But watch, he goes up, he pinpoints, and he takes away the first pass attempt of the game from Deshaun Tompkins.
It was a good play. The wheel route, he definitely got behind the cornerback, but unfortunately that safety over the top, just too much, and Beaufort holds.
Here's Darrell the pass on the screen. Too shifty, too elusive. Looks like he's going to have enough for the first down. It's about 11-yard gain. Sometimes for Samari Bonds, we saw a couple deep balls. Just put the ball in your playmakers and let them go to work.
Just get them in space. As we see here, nothing fancy or quick pass out in the flats to DePass. DePass, I should say. 6'4" senior, able to pick up positive yards, picks up a first down. And you're right. He's a playmaker. Give it out to him and let him go to work against this Cane Bay defense.
It's Bonds. He's going to keep it. He's going to evade a tackle from number 51, Garrett Andy. Not before he's able to just get one back. A really nice tackle on the outside by Braden Pate.
Just talk about the way Bonds runs. Looks like tall, lanky. Just guys that's kind of like the new style quarterbacks that you see these days. You want those guys that can make plays. Athletes, athletic, can run it, can throw it, has a strong arm, has shown his touch tonight. And again, just very, very impressed. You kind of warned me. You said this guy is a player, and I can see now how he led this Eagle team to a state championship last year.
Look at it, just the zip on the ball on the outside. It's going to be about an 8-yard catch. For Darrell the pass, he takes a huge shot on the outside by McKean. See a little upset after the play as Malachi Dickerson may have a few words for him, but really nice ball from Samari Bonds. We talked about it. I think last year, just a sophomore, the year before, right, 2 years ago, Beaufort makes a run in the state championship, and they fall just short. So how do the expectations on the shoulders of a sophomore, of Samari Bonds? He's a four-sport athlete. He's a big-time hoopster. He can absolutely jump through the gym. But on the gridiron, it looks like it's really slowing down for him. The progressions are starting to really come under control, and he's showcasing some serious talent tonight.
And the thing is, they're calling throws as we see a big run here. Whoa, now that's what I'm talking about.
Oh.
You are the hitter instead of the hittee, and you lower the boom instead of absorbing the boom. What a tough run there by Jaden Andrews.
Well, there's the beauty of week 0. When we talk about running backs and depth chart, we heard a lot about Caleb Ulmer and Isaac Smalls. Jaden Andrews making a name for himself. Are you kidding me? Running aggressive past that 50-yard line. That's a big-time 9-yard gain for a Mr. Sparky first down.
Malachi Dickerson probably will learn when you have guys like that are that compact, but you want to go low. You don't want to try and tackle them high, because when you do, that's what happens. You end up on the backside of the big hit.
You see there, he gets Eric Shiver, the nose tackle, really talented player for Cane Bay. There he is, Samari Bonds, just a junior, but starting to play with the cadence, play with the snap count, and that's a 45 yards.
And I like what he's done in the passing game here. They've kind of shortened the game. They've kind of slowed it down for him. They're not calling anything where he literally has to read over the defense, look down the field. Just short, quick passes, allowing him to get in rhythm. We've seen this all night, though. They've done a great job between the 20s moving the football, but Cane Bay has always been able to come up with the answer on defense. Will they do it this time?
Really nice tackle by Parker Osborne. Osborne shoots that A-gap, quickly wraps up Samari Bonds. Looks like it may have been just a loss of a yard as Bonds, you can see a year ago, he makes his high school debut at the varsity level against Fort Dorchester. Can you imagine making your debut against that stout defense?
No easy task.
And a year later, against another 5A opponent, it just looks like the game's in slow motion.
Now, I will say this for Bonds. It seems like he is more comfortable when he's out of the obviously the box, where he can kind of be athletic, kind of get out in space and make things happen. Let's see what they call here.
Really nice tackle. There's Stephen Hurd again.
Andrews again on the carry.
Looked like Jaden Andrews just able to get back to the line of scrimmage. That's a huge tackle from Stephen Hurd. We told you, a 275-pound grown man in the middle of that Cane Bay defense.
And most coaches don't like third down and long, but that's where Beaufort's had their most success tonight. So let's see if they move that pocket. Obviously, he's a right-hander, so see if they can kind of move and make some plays. Just have some guys just maybe run, across the middle, just something to allow him to use his athleticism.
It's Bond with 4 receivers out wide. He's going to kick it out to that right side, as you mentioned. A big throw downfield, and Amari Patterson jumping out to Jim. It looks like it's going to be too high. Great coverage from number 2, Jonas McKean. And Beaufort's looking at about 4th and 8.
And Cane Bay did a great job of making him rush that throw. I think if he could have taken one more step and kind of gotten his composure, because they had the inside position, so that would have been an easy completion. Good job by that front 4 of Cane Bay being relentless, keeping the pressure on Bonds, not letting him get comfortable on that particular play.
Well, they've got the kick team on, and it's number 34, William Kiesling, Athlete of the Week. I'd make a mention, too. I believe we had the graphic wrong. He is obviously a member of Beaufort. His impact has been felt tonight with the field goal and extra point. Now he's on to do the punting for the Eagles, looking to pin that Cane Bay offense back. Deliver a little bit of a pooch shot, and it looks like it's going to go out of bounds at around that 20-yard line, where Cane Bay will take over.
Around the 20, but there is a flag
the
down
ball
the line of
was
scrimmage.
on the 40-yard line. There's a penalty flag on the play, so not a lot of yards gained on that punt, but let's see what the call is here.
It's on the home side of the field. I'm curious at a full effect after the play.
I believe that's Steve Rush, long-time Low Country official.
Will be declined by the Cobras, and they'll
you mentioned the guys in pins tonight. They've done a fantastic job. They've been really busy tonight, but we're thankful. It is officials that have done a great job of officiating this game, as it looks like maybe an illegal shift on the kick team.
Not sure. Especially, Jack, it was getting a little chippy. So they did a good job of kind of bringing it down. And everybody, that's what a veteran official crew does. Good job by Steve Brush and his colleagues.
Calming cool heads with just 2:41 in the third quarter. That score remains tied 10-10 here from Cane Bay High School. We welcome you back into Preferred Home Services. Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. Jack DeLongshall sitting alongside the legend, Everett German. We've got a good one on our hands, man, tonight.
Well, you're probably the only person in Charleston that thinks I'm a legend, so I appreciate that, Jack. But, yeah, no, we do. A great ball game, just what we expected. We knew it would be a four-quarter game. The third quarter now has settled down. The defenses are now starting to take over, so Cane Bay with another opportunity to go on top.
See the late pitch. Looks like it's Tompkins on the outside, but how impressive. Because the free safety, Hudson Mullenben. Looks like he's almost playing that nickel. He's been a hybrid. He slid down, playing a little outside linebacker. Big time tackle.
But the thing is, there's really no threat to throw, so that is allowing Mullen and his teammates to kind of cheat up. So we've only seen one pass tonight from Cane Bay. A good job here, just stringing it out. You know, like I said, the spacing between the two probably could be a little, so that way he has to either pick the quarterback or the running back. But a great job by Mullen on that particular play.
And you can see they've got almost 8 in the box right now, just kind of sniffing it out. Can that Cane Bay front create some holes, and they won't there as Langston Rhodes tackled quickly for just a yard gain. It's a huge tackle from number 5, Will Coding, the junior Mike linebacker. He's laid the boom tonight.
You have a running back that looks like Jerome Bettis, you got to go low on him. That's how you tackle guys like that have that build. So, again, tough run, as you mentioned, that time by Landon Rhodes, and a better tackle by the guy, Will. That's just a linebacker named Will Coding. That just sounds like a guy that wants to knock your head off.
Absolutely. You're right. He had his hands full. Langston Rhodes, 5'10", 205 pounds. He's a load to tackles. They'll go back to Tompkins on the outside. But this time, this may be the most aggressive we've seen that Beaufort defense. That's a huge hit on the outside for number 9, Dom Camacho.
Dom Camacho just blowing people up out there. That's what I call pursuit. Meet you at the football, sideline to sideline coverage, 3 and out. They give it back to their offense. Nothing fancy there. Just shot the gap in the backfield. Punt team on the field for Cane Bay.
And the first on the attack, that was the outside linebacker, the senior James Denton. He was the first one there to maybe slow him down. And Camacho, he knew what to do with the rest. Is that middle linebacker, again, Osborne's out to punt. This one's a little bit of a shorter one, but he's going to get a favorable Cane Bay bounce to about the 50-yard lines, where it may have looked like a little bit prematurely Keaton Cooley snapped it.
Yeah, that ball probably could have easily rolled another 5-8 yards. But, again, Cooley has played a phenomenal game tonight. Been on a lot of stops from his defensive position. And if Cane Bay is going to win this game tonight, they're going to need more stops from Mr. Cooley tonight.
Well, it looks like they're calling him back on the field. I didn't see a penalty flag. They're discussing kind of what they want to do with it. I'm not sure if maybe the clock here at Cane Bay High School didn't go or what their decision's going to be. Let's go ahead and take a listen in.
Definitely, it's against Cane Bay. They're asking, do you want to accept it or decline it?
On the defense, by the Eagles. 5-yard penalty. It'll still be 4th down.
So what was 4th and 10? It was an illegal substitution late for Beaufort.
Nobody due for the Eagles.
The Eagles have nobody back, but Parker Osborne still is on the field. Maybe the Eagles looking to snuff out a fake. Osborne will deliver another booming kick. This one just a little wide right. Same result as it'll exit around the 50-yard line.
Well, actually, Beaufort gained some yards because remember the previous play, it was in Beaufort territory. So that gamble backfires on Cane Bay as they probably just allow them about 5-6 yards on the second.
As you can see here, nice little fan cam at the Cane Bay Cheerleaders. Reminder, go vote. I'm telling you. Results for tonight's Delta Force All-Star Games Cheer the Game, sponsored by Delta Force Athletics.
The Eagles are not soaring. The Eagles have got to bring it right now. I mean, come on, Cane Bay. The Cobras are taking a bite out of this competition. Come on, Eagles. You're at home. What are you doing?
Eagles need to soar into this competition. You're at home. You're hopefully listening. If you're tired of hearing us talk about it upstairs, at least root on your cheerleaders as you see a big-time hit on the outside. That ball looks like it's going to be jarred loose of Jaden Andrews, and I think Cane Bay jumped on it.
They did indeed. Now, who was the lucky Cobra to pick it up? As we see, they're still fighting at the bottom. And there it is with the football.
I think it was number 10, MJ Davis at the bottom of that pile. But how about the big hit for number 33? It was Hayden Cooley.
Hey, Sean Singleton, you got to have that football high and tight, young man. You can't let them knock it out of your hands. Forced turnover putting the ball on the ground. It's the little things that make that are the most important. Little things lead to big mistakes. Now let's see if Cane Bay can capitalize. Both teams have given it to each other. Somebody's got to capitalize on these turnovers.
There on the outside, it's Bryson Johnson. He's going to beat him to the corner. He's got a first down and more. It's going to be about a 16-yard carry for Bryson Johnson that'll move the sticks. Like Mr. Sparky, first down, America's on-time electrician. Bryson Johnson's been nothing but on time tonight.
Cane Bay has not had a lot of success in between the tackles, but outside when they can turn that corner, whether it's Tompkins or Johnson, they've had a lot of success. A big run there for the Cobras there in territory of the Eagles.
And Mark Stewart, he's got this offense up-tempo as that clock's going to tick down and end the third quarter.
By the way, that was a Mr. Sparky first down. Tompkins has brought the spark to this Cane Bay offense.
Love a good depth. I don't even think there's nothing that needs to be said. What better way to send this to the fourth quarter than with a beautiful pun from our man Everett German? We got a good one on our hands. The score all knotted up 10-10 as we head to the fourth quarter.
All right, fans, you'll get your Scoop 50/50 raffle ticket ready. I'll be giving
It's
you
the Preferred Home Services Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. The score all tied up. But the two guys we were talking about going into this one, Everett, it was Langston Rhodes, an all-region A-B back last year for Cane Bay, ran for 700 yards and 5 touchdowns. Deshaun Tompkins, 700 yards and 7 touchdowns a year ago. But it's been all Bryson Johnson. As you see, Tompkins, he breaks the tackle. He's going to beat a man to the corner. Could it be all the way? Deshaun Tompkins, he displays that 4.5 40 speed. We were going to brag on his teammate Bryson Johnson, who's been great tonight. But Deshaun Tompkins, the 44-yard touchdown.
You're a pencil talk guy. Lee Corso owns a pencil company. Not so fast, my friend, says Tompkins. You want to talk about Johnson? I'm going to show you this 4.5 speed. Anytime you can beat two safeties closing on you and you can split them and take it to the house, you are the man, my friend. A great run by Tompkins, and the Cobras have taken a bite out of the Eagles, and they're back on top.
Well, it's McKean on the outside. We haven't given you any second to breathe. As McKean, it looks like he's going to be stopped just short. The PAT goes a little array. McKean just falls short. That could be a huge play late in this game.
Yeah, that's when you have to yell, hot, hot, hot. Let your guys know somebody's got to release. Somebody's got to release. But McKean tried to make the most out of it, just came up a little short. And once again, the big fella, rumbling, stumbling, bumbling, Adrian Lamb making the play to stop the two-point conversion. And now, all of a sudden, a big run by Beaufort and an extra point, and they're back on top. But what a run by Tompkins. Solid night for him tonight. 8 carries, 64 yards. Actually, I guess we probably need to add about, 25, 26 on that last one, and a touchdown now to put Cane Bay back on top.
I was going to say, I think that run's going to eclipse over 100 yards for Deshaun Tompkins. This has been such a defensive juggernaut matchup in the second half. Thought we had some time to kill, brag on Bryson Johnson, who's been a guy that we really didn't kind of talk about. We talked about Langston Rose, who had the 700 yards last year, and all-region B-back, and Deshaun Tompkins, 700 yards a year ago, 7 touchdowns, and tonight, boy, is he letting Region 6 and the 5A classification know, hey, I'm coming for that all-region belt. I might even be an all-lower state guy because this guy can really fly, and he displayed it on that huge carry to give Cane Bay its first lead of the night.
Yeah, Tompkins, talk about a 1-2 combo of Tompkins and Johnson. What a luxury Russell Zaire has to have. 2 guys that can tote the mail if need be. They can kind of play off each other, keep each other fresh. That was a big play. We talked about big plays. Somebody was going to make a big play to put their team on top. So far, the big play has been made by Cane Bay. Now, can Beaufort answer what Cane Bay just did in terms of the big touchdown run by Tompkins?
That said touchdown brought to you by Trident Technical College, your future, your college. Told you, Deshaun Tompkins, he ran a 4.49 the South Carolina Gamecock Combine. And let me tell you what, on 9 carries, 110 yards, that big-time touchdown, he's letting the Gamecock know they should keep him in state.
But
big return there.
Return it out to about the 33, it looks like.
Our main man Parker Osborne on the stop.
Osborne kicks it and then goes and carries him down. Yeah, as
Right.
Elias Johnson looks like he was on the return for the Eagles.
Well, we talked about it. I mean, the man's playing linebacker. He's kicking. He's selling popcorns. He's making tackles on kickoff coverage. I mean, get the man a break, Mr. Osborne, as we take a look at him right there in the middle of our screen.
And here's the question of the night. How do the reigning state champs respond? Championship pedigree from a year ago, as you saw, not only was it a Trident Technical touchdown, it was a West Shore home first down. And Beaufort looking to string a couple of their own first down together, and they do so to start with about a 3-yard pickup. Number 15, Amari Patterson.
And it's the timing that's being thrown off with the high snaps. It's kind of throwing everything off. You have to throw that quick bubble screen over there to the left. So not sure what's going on with the snap to Mr. Bonds. But, yeah, they got to get that more in sync. Again, I know it is week 0, but that's something that hopefully they can fix.
I was going to say, I noticed it earlier just because it kind of showcased how calm, cool, and collected Bonds is back there. He's just not even worried about it. He delivers another strike. That's going to be the first drop of the night that we've seen from Beaufort. As that little 6-yard in and out from number 33, I believe that's number 33, Edward Green. That's number 32 on our roster, so just double-checking, making sure I'm showing love to whoever we need to. And
But you got to look that one in. You can't run until you have the football. So he was anxious, wanted to turn up the field and make a big play. Speaking of big plays, big third down here for Beaufort.
Another awkward snap, and Bonds is going to have to get out of the pocket. He goes to a left, delivers downfield, and throws into double coverage. He has no choice but to not do. Great defense for the Cane Bay Cobras. A huge stand to force the 4th down.
That's very hard to do in terms of throwing across your body. He still had enough to get on it to almost get it to his intended receiver. But again, that snap throwing him off. He has to try and make something out of nothing. That timing is definitely off between the center and Bonds.
I was going to say, we've seen that broken play pay dividends for Beaufort tonight. But in that situation, I got to give a shout out. Keaton Cooley, great job of jumping the coverage because Amari Patterson can fly. Does a great job of deflecting that pass.
Now you have to be tight here if you're Beaufort. You don't want to give up a block punt situation here. And if you're Cane Bay, if you set up for the return.
A little bit of a rugby-style punt from William Kiesling as it's going to take a favorable Cobra bounce. Goes go all the way back to the 45. And they'll have great field position when we come right back. A huge touchdown from Cane Bay. They get the defensive stop to maintain momentum from the home team standpoint as we kick into break. It's Preferred Home Services Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. Take a look at an upcoming schedule. And I'm telling you right now, next week, Battle of Mount Pleasant. I'm telling you, here with former Wando Warrior alum.
That's right.
It's going to be a good one.
2 Wando Warrior alums here next week. Looking forward to being over at the new stadium. Of course, the battle of, east of the Cooper. So that'll be a good one. That'll be a simulcast on my TV as well as ABC News 4.
And we'll get Lucy Beckham in back-to-back weeks as they'll take on a really talented James Island team. You see, look at that guy. He's been a guy that's really stood out to me in this second half. That was number 10, Hudson Mullen, tackling the really tricky runner, and Deshaun Tompkins. A great play by Mullen on the outside.
Yeah, great job of keeping his pursuit, not giving up on the play. And almost a nice run that time by Tompkins as he was almost able to escape the pursuit of Beaufort, but to no avail. Nice job by Hudson Mullen.
It's Mark Stewart back under the gun. It's Rhodes behind him, that B-back spot. It's going to be Rhodes trying to get back those 4 yards that they missed. It looks like it's going to get a little bit more. About a 6-yard gain as Cane Bay looks like they'll be facing about a 3rd and 7.
And Russell Zier did say if we can get this to the fourth quarter and take the air out of the football, that's when we know we kind of have our opponent, because then you're shortening the game, obviously. You're keeping them on. And then as offensive coordinator, you may try to force the issue because you're not sure if you're going to get the ball back. So in all reality here, 3rd down and 9, this is big because if they can pick up a first down, another 2 to 3 minutes automatically comes off of the clock.
Rhodes and Tompkins again. So the big fella, Adrian Lamb, looming large over the center, Eli Gentry. They'll go back to Rhodes. A little miscommunication on who was going to take it. About a 1.5 yard gain, it looks like, from Langston Rhodes. That helmet's ripped off. He is infuriated, maybe potentially looking for a face mask call.
Ripping the helmet, probably not.
A great stand from the big fella Lamb.
I'm pretty sure Rhodes didn't take his helmet off himself. so somebody definitely got a hand in there, but a tough run. Great job tackling. Yeah, he's right. It looked like it was Will Codling that got his hands up in there. And did we have a flag?
Oh, it looked like maybe the reaction was able to draw a penalty.
It looks like a false start against Cane Bay. Illegal procedure, I should say.
See a lot of question marks as head coach Russell Zaire upset with the call. It was Jaden Simmons and Robert Johnson in on the tack. Looks like Coach Bryce Lieband, he'll opt to defer. That means Cane Bay's looking at about 4th and 8.
Again, if you're Russell Zaire here, your defense has been lights out really since the second quarter. First quarter was a little rocky, but since then they've kept Beaufort off the board. You punt it away. You try to play good defense and make Beaufort drive the field against you.
Beaufort getting on the field a little late. Didn't know what Cane Bay was going to respond. It's Osborne. Could be a massive turning point in this game if he can kick it away. It looks like that went off the back of the leg of Jonas McKean in on the coverage. That one, they got to buy him. Who knows where that ball lands? You know what?
Jack, if we can see a replay, if he just makes a football decision and just takes off and run, there was nobody at the top of the field because everyone started to retreat. So when Coach Zaire sees this film, he's going to say, oh, he could have ran for 3 first downs. There was literally no one at the top of the field. But instead, they'll pin them down inside the 30-yard line.
I say Parker Osborne, we've seen him do a lot of things tonight. We know that he can run. We told you about his soccer background. That's why you see him on kick teams on both sides. But now his defense looking for another big-time stop. As you see Jaden Andrews, after the fumble, he's back out there for about a 2-yard gain. I love the trust instilled in Andrews and Coach Librand sending out the senior back.
Osborne once again on the stop. He has to have at least 15 tackles tonight. He's been all over the field. Also got an assist from Keaton Cooley. If I'm not mistaken, Coach Zaire, we got, 2 sets of twins on this. I know we got Hayden and Keaton Cooley. And I think it's Jalen and Jaden Smith.
Absolutely, as you see Odom taken down after just about 2 yards.
And on cue, Keaton Cooley coming up with the stop.
Excuse me, it was actually a little bit more. I thought Odom got taken down after just about a 3-yard carry, but does a great route, just a few yards shy. The Eagles looking at about 3rd and 2. This seems like a crucial first down, Everett. Just under 8 minutes as the clock keeps on ticking. You talked about kind of what is this offensive coordinator, is Coach Librand, does it change the way that they call this play based on knowing that they want to keep the ball in their hands? We'll find out. They give it right back to Jaden Andrews, and Andrews has got enough to pick up the first down after about a 5-yard carry. That answers the question for us.
A big run up the middle by the big guy, Jaden Andrews. Nothing fancy there, just up the middle. Helmet on helmet, and that time the Beaufort offensive line able to come away, as that was another West Shore home first down.
America's most admired home remodeling brand.
Do a great job, Jack. If you ever need bathroom remodel, people to call West Shore home. They can do it in one day.
Bathroom remodel?
Yeah, man, they're good.
Come on. And that, shout out, no shout out, that's a big time one. They give it back to Andrews, and this time he's met by a flurry of blue helmets.
Right at the line.
Looked like that was the big fella, number 55, Joshua Frost, junior 2A, plays on that offense and defensive line.
And you also have to think, if you're Beaufort, you don't want to give necessarily the ball back to Cane Bay as well. So how much time can Beaufort milk off of this clock to shorten the game? And again, that missed extra point could come up crucial, because if Beaufort can kick the extra point, obviously that would give them a 1-point lead.
It's always that third phase of the game that you forget about. You were so crucial in making sure to ask all those coaches this week to, hey, what are you guys looking like on special teams? You see Amari Patterson, a quick little out route. He's going to fumble that ball. Excuse me, drop that ball. That'll set with himself, maybe needing a little bit of a breather.
And you have to think 3rd and 11, Jack. Could this potentially be? You touched on it earlier in the broadcast, where, yeah, you don't try to get all of it here, but if you can pick up 6 or 7, then make it 4th down and manageable, meaning 4 or less, do you go for it? Because, again, with 6:40 left on the clock, you just really can't afford to allow the Cobras to just milk this clock away.
3rd and 10. Does the junior quarterback have another stellar play in? It's a play action. He's got Brennan Ford on the bottom of the screen. It's Brennan Ford, the kickoff man, the defensive back, and Ford with a huge play. He entered the game for Amari Patterson. Hasn't seen a lot of times on the offensive side of the ball. And he immediately makes a huge play for the Eagles.
Dude, this dude is throwing on the run like he's Michael Vick. Like, he's not stopping, getting his feet set. He literally is throwing darts on the run, hitting guys in stride on a huge 3rd down and 10 play to come up with another West Shore home first down. And that will extend the drive for the Eagles.
And you can see them walking backwards. No penalty on the field. They said that Brendan Ford actually stepped out around that Cane Bay 49-yard line, taking away about 7 or 8 yards. But again, Samari Bonds rolling out to the right. That's been the difference maker tonight.
Yeah, he's definitely lethal, going to his strong side.
Andrews
and really, that's for probably any quarterback. Nobody wants to throw across their body. Do we have a turnover?
Cane Bay was really adamant. That ball popped out. The lead official on that far side saying Jaden Andrews was down by contact. That would have been an absolutely crucial fumble. As you can see, Andrews, he's become almost that kind of, he's been that horse in that backfield. Right. We talked a lot about Caleb Ulmer, who's playing on the defensive side of the ball, but it's really been Andrews in the second half.
Well, and also you got to figure Cane Bay is going to be tackling the football now because they're trying to force a turnover. So if you're running in between the tackles, you got to cover that thing up. Right hand over the top, left hand over, depending on what your dominant hand is, and you got to squeeze. You can't allow them to poke the ball away from you. Okay.
See Samari Bonds, some vocal leadership between he and his center, Chaplain Walton. You see a lot of people actually upset. Leadership at its finest.
You call it constructive criticism. With just a little, energetic constructive criticism. That's what that's called. That's not arguing at your teammate. That's saying, hey, we got to do better.
I was going to say that's now double-digit penalties for the Beaufort Eagles. They'll look to kind of work on that moving forward. But I feel really good. You got to feel really good with number 1 at the helm, being able to step up, be vocal with his offensive line. As you've seen, maybe they go to that left side, they run behind the big fella, Adrian Lamb, which was so successful for them in just the state championship a season ago.
Yeah, if you're going to run behind anybody, I'd run behind 76.
Whew. I got to tell you, it was a really nice screen. We've seen them go to Durrell to pass. Absolutely blown up by Jonas McKean. He's been all over the field. It's a huge play to blow up and allow his corner and fellow teammate to come and finish up the play.
Exactly. And I was about to say, he didn't necessarily make the tackle, but he caused a disruption just to hold him up enough till help could come. You had the sideline as an extra defender as well. He could only go right. Great coverage by Jonas McKean, the junior defensive back.
Instant replay brought to you by Preferred Home Services. Go Preferred, the company highly referred. Highly refer you. Watch the young man, Jonas McKean. He's been special tonight. But now another big third down. Got to get rid of it quick. Ball up in the air, and it's going to be intercepted. It's number 10, MJ Davis, another deflection, and a huge play from Cane Bay to flip the sides of the field and potentially give them a massive opportunity to finish off this ball game.
Once again, tip drill, tip drill, tip drill. Then once you catch it, you yell Oski, and you just take off. The pressure up the middle obviously disturbed Mr. Bonds. He felt it coming, really couldn't get set. He just trying to get rid of it. Who was there to tip it? Was that number 32 for Cane Bay? Was that my man, Braden Pate? With the tip, the interception grabbed by M.J. Davis, and the Cobras take over in Eagle territory.
Can this offensive run attack put the nail in the coffin? Shouting out all three parties of that play was Parker Osborne on the big hit to force the throw. The tip, obviously by Peyton. M.J. Davis, he seals the deal with just 4:35 left here at Cane Bay High School. We're going to take our final break. Can Cane Bay hold on as they lead 16-10? It's week 0 of Preferred Home Services Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet, and boy, have we had a good one. Cane Bay leads 16-10. It was the late touchdown, some late miscue turnovers here in the second half that have given Cane Bay this lead. Now with just 4:35 to go, Everett, they'll lean on that triple option for just a couple more first downs to put the nail in the coffin.
I would say maybe 2 or 3 first downs away from this game being done.
Langston Rhodes on the carry.
And I'm pretty sure just because of the, not necessarily the temperature, but you don't want to take any risks. And if you do force Mr. Stewart to pitch, probably want to make him do it with his right hand, not do it to the left. But right now they're just going to run straight. And that's when, as the offensive line coach, you turn your hat around backwards. You got your pencil in the side of your ear, and you challenge your young man to win the battle in the trenches. Get your pads lower than theirs. Let's see if Cane Bay can do it.
They fake the handoff to Langston Rhodes, and they go to the big fella. It's number 7, Bryson Johnson. We told you, we talked about Rhodes and Tompkins. They've been spectacular tonight. But the emergence of Bryson Johnson as that second really valid A-back option, he picks up a massive, and I mean a massive first down here in the fourth quarter to keep the clock ticking.
As we talked about that discipline, you can't watch the ball. You got to stay in your gap. Nice job of misdirection that time by Cane Bay. You best believe they won't be hiking this ball until there's less than probably 5 seconds left on this play clock as they try to essentially just take the air out of the football.
Beaufort desperately looking for a huge defensive play. A late whistle, and it looks like it's going to be a false start on the Cobras. Looks like it's going to be on that left offensive side of the line.
Yeah, Braylon Green anxious to get down the field and shadow block for his teammate.
I haven't said the name of Braylon Green yet, but I talk about special athletes. Green, a senior, 6'3", 200 pounds. We talked to really the entire coaching staff of Cane Bay. He said that this guy, he's got a college body. This guy deserves to play at the next level. And his ability to block on the outside, you can see him really fitting well in a college spot, catching the ball at that tight end position and on the outside. Braylon Green, a big-time body, and really important in the blocking game.
We've seen, Jack, that's starting to reemerge again as one of the more important positions on the football team, being tight end, especially when you have a guy that can act as a wide receiver but also block, as a lineman. So.
And two, as a wideout, you want to catch the ball, but so selfless and being so strong in that blocking game. That penalty, stop the clock for a few. Tompkins in motion. It's going to be a pitch to the outside. How about that tackle? We saw him on offense. It was Brendan Ford just catching the shoestring of Tompkins. That's a huge loss of about 4 yards. Big stop for Beaufort.
Big time stop there by Ford, as we have a first time out taken by Beaufort, as they're going to try and save as much time as they possibly can. If they can get the stop here on the next 2 downs, they'll have one more opportunity to come up with the win.
Just 3:05 in the fourth quarter, we would be remiss to mention, here are the final results for tonight's Delta Force All-Star Cheer of the game. Everett, we got Soaring Eagles flying back into the competition.
Get out of here. Say it ain't so. The Delta Force Athletics Chair of the night, it was the Beaufort Eagles and the Cane Bay Cobras, the cheerleaders going at it early. It was the Cane Bay Cobras jumped up to a commanding lead, 100% to nothing. We challenged the folks down 17 in Beaufort. We said, hey, where are you? I need to see the results. And I just got it. Soar, Eagles, soar. Not fly, Eagles, fly, like the Philadelphia Eagles. Soar, Eagles, soars. They come back and get a convincing win. Congratulations, Beaufort. You are the chair champion of the night.
84% of the vote, as that's a big-time gain and carry for number 1, Cameron Smalls, the junior running back. He dashes for about 6 yards. He picks up everything that they lost on that Brendan Ford tackle. But we got to give another huge shout-out. Sponsored by Delta Force Athletics, home of the Delta Force All-Stars, proudly cheering on the Low Country's high school sports. So thankful for them cheering on, showing a whole lot of love to the cheerleaders on both sidelines tonight. But the Beaufort Eagles, the outer bands of the Low Country, showing up big tonight for us.
I guess we could have gone with fly, Eagles, fly. I mean, they're green and white, kind of like the Philadelphia Eagles, but that's all right. We're original.
I got to say this too. Cane Bay's come out with some beautiful helmets tonight. Yeah. They've amped up their game. But Beaufort, a little bit of the Kelly green, like your fly Eagles fly.
Yeah. No. Wait.
And repping the Jordan jerseys. Come on.
Not my Eagles. Remember, I'm a Commander
fan.
I'm
well aware. That's why I said it. Well aware.
Oh, fireworks. Where did that come from? But yeah, just a great night of high school football. What a great way to kind of kick off the Friday Night Rivals season with 2 good football teams, both playing through mistakes, and we'll see what happens here on this crucial 3rd down.
Well, they kick it. They fake the handoff to Rhodes. And Cam Smalls, he breaks it to the outside. Will he have one man to beat? And he's going to be tackled at the 4-yard line. Cam Smalls. It's been a plethora of names for Cane Bay, but it's Cam Smalls in the biggest moment of the ball game, dashing down to the 4-yard line, a huge pickup. And here, the Beaufort Home Services will show you the huge cutback run from Cam Smalls.
Right, the bounce outside. Cam Smalls comes up big on the big 3rd down run there. Down. Now you can basically take your time. You don't want to score, but yes, they're going to punch it in. Little exclamation point on that Trident Technical College. Touchdown, the Cobras getting 6 from the tailback, Langston Rhodes.
Langston Rhodes. He finishes off what Cam Smalls had started. The big fella. Hey, you could slow it down. You could eat some clock. but why not just go ahead and put it away? Get that final touchdown. Here it is, at that final message tonight. Your student section's fired up about it. Why wouldn't you be?
Nice run, a big run on that third down play. I've just been very impressed with really all the running backs tonight and their field vision, their ability to take what may appear to be a busted play, bounce it outside or cut back, make big plays. Night after night, both coaches said whatever team can make the big plays, that's who's going to prevail tonight. And again, it started out with Beaufort making the plays, but down the stretch, Russell Zaire and the Cane Bay Cobras appear to be on their way to opening season win.
Sees that field goal. PAT soars over the TEC Equipment Rental Scissor Lift tonight. We rent the good stuff. A huge trying technical touchdown from Langston Rhodes set up by Cam Smalls. And this looks like it might do it. It was a huge 3rd and 8. And Cam Smalls bounces to the outside. Beaufort just one stop away from getting the ball back with a chance to go win the game. But the big run.
Well, you think about it, Cane Bay beat Beaufort at their game, so to speak. Last year we talked about Beaufort only throwing a couple of passes in the state championship game. As of right now, Cane Bay has attempted one pass tonight. They have absolutely done it on the ground. And you have to, if you're being honest, also Beaufort has contributed a lot with the penalties tonight. 11 penalties for 90 yards. Not taking anything away from Cane Bay, but it was the penalties that kind of got Cane Bay back in this game on that one particular drive in the second quarter. And ever since then, it's been all Cane Bay Cobras.
Well, on cue, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the Holy City Heating and Air coolest play of the game. We provide solutions for every season. If you had to take a guess, what would it be?
Probably that last run. Defensively, offensively, as we take a look here, yes, the forced turnover, the interception, being in the right place at the right time was Mr. M.J. Davis, just getting a hand up. Sometimes you can't catch it, but if you can tip it, get it to your teammate, let them make a play. That's exactly what happened, and that's our Holy City Heating and Air coolest play of the game.
I get to tell you, I think what makes it so cool, Leo, is the fact that it took so many pieces of the puzzle for M.J. Davis to corral that interception. The tip from Braden Payne, the huge tackle and forced throw from Parker Osborne, who we're seeing now even on the kickoff. Just so many pieces defensively, schematically that had to go in to the coolest play of the game.
Well, you know, the whole thing is people that play on defense is because they can't catch. That's why they're not wide receivers, they're DBs. Clearly somebody's been working on tip drill here at Cane Bay, because Cane Bay has not one but 2 tipped interceptions tonight to stop some big drives of Beaufort.
We take a look. It's the Cruz Chevrolet drive of the game. You got to imagine it's the one we just saw, the 3rd and 8 bounce back cut from Cam Smalls.
Or maybe the initial touchdown for Beaufort.
I like it. I was going to say, well, I think too, for the Cruz Chevrolet drive of the game, just on Rivers, just north of the Northwoods Mall. You got a friend at Cruz Chevrolet. We're going to take another look at it, give you another look into it. Could it be that first touchdown of the game? And it is. Samari Bonds was so athletic in that first half, and he really started off the scoring efforts.
Yeah, the right-handed Michael Vick throwing off his back foot off the run and able to deliver a strike to his teammate, Mr. Odom. That was on the original drive, or the second drive of the game for Beaufort. That's our Cruz Chevrolet. You've got a friend in the car business drive of the game.
Well, we've still got one more play of the game to show. It's the Will Lou Gray Never Stop Learning stop of the game.
And it might be
this one. The 3rd turnover of the game. Look how ecstatic this Cane Bay defense is. That, the nail in the coffin. Samari Bonds hounded that offensive line. Just couldn't withhold just the huge upfront effort from that Cane Bay defense. I'm not sure who it was, but we'll shout out that entire defensive front. Will Coker, he's a defensive wrestler. He's a stud, a captain on this football team. TJ Eaton, Stephen Hurd, Joshua Frost, they've been fantastic tonight as you take a look at the Will Lou Gray stop of the game.
He's called it just right there. It just happened. Roll call at the football. All the black jerseys swarming around the football, getting hands at it, swiping at it. And tonight, Samari Bonds, he was good, but he just wasn't good enough. That Cane Bay defense was a little too much for Bonds, and that's why Cane Bay is going to start off their season 1-0. What a great job by Russell Zaire and his coaching staff, his kids. Cane Bay, size, speed, athleticism, relentlessness, everything you need to be a good football team, especially when you can force 3 turnovers and 2 of them be off of the tip drill and you get to yell Oski. I'm telling you, man, that was not that. When you're a high school football player, when you hear Oski, Jack, that means you just turn and you headhunt and you look for somebody in the other jersey to just absolutely send them into Saturday morning film study.
Oski, I think Ed Reed made an entire career off the old Oski tip guy. As we saw, it was DJ Cobbs also. I wanted to make sure to mention DJ Cobbs has been great at that defensive end spot he was in, forcing that fumble with Samari Bonds. And now Kane Bay back in the red zone, looking for another Trident Technical College touchdown, just looking to wear and tear, put the Eagles to bed.
Jeez, Adrian Lamb, just a grown man. That's what we need. We need to have Jaden Ferguson line up against Adrian Lamb and just let those two go at each other and make the best.
Just a good old-fashioned
the best man
drill.
win.
Who's winning the A-gap. And I got to tell you, Beaufort's going to probably find themselves in the losing category today, but Adrian Lamb is senior leader.
Just look at him. Like, over the balls, the nose tackle, absorbing double teams. It looks like no quit in Kane Bay. They're trying to add on. Penalty flag.
Well, I got to tell you, he was a great block on the outside. It was Adrian Lamb fighting up against Andrew Tumbleston.
We just had it, Jack. We just had Mr. Adrian Lamb going one-on-one against Dayton Ferguson.
We found it.
We ask and we shall receive.
And it wasn't before Langston Rhodes dove into the end zone for his second touchdown of the game. I'm not sure if it's going to be a penalty after the call. If the touchdown will stand, it looks like it will, and it will. You'll see it's a little bit of a delay here, but yes, it is going to be a touchdown. 29-10 Kane Bay. They've come storming back. 26 points unanswered have the Cobras. Talk about a response.
Down 10-0 in the first quarter. A lot of penalties. Didn't necessarily play, Kane Bay football. So take a look here. Just nothing fancy. Helmet on helmet, up the middle. Touchdown run by Kane Bay as Langston Rhodes able to get into the end zone. But you're right. I mean, you talk about responding offensively and defensively. It appeared that Beaufort had their way in the first quarter. Looked like they were cruising along, and give credit to that Cobra defense. They have absolutely shut Beaufort down here from the onset of quarter 2.
I was going to say, you talk about the mishaps. This is a really well-coached Beaufort team. They're going to respond better than ever. This almost might serve really well to Coach Library. This is going to serve as some serious film study. How do you respond? And I'm telling you, Beaufort's going to be right back competing for a 3A state championship. We got a good old doink.
Yeah.
Parker Osborne's done it all for us tonight.
But you're right. Sometimes, you win the state championship. You have to get their attention. Playing well, things are easy. You just automatically think you're going to roll into the next year as still state champion. You're right, Jack. Now you can pop this film in and say, guys, this is reality. We can't worry about last year. This is a new year. We got to get started. Last year, we lost the first game. We know how it ended. Let's start a win streak right here starting next week. Keep it moving. But sometimes not all losses are bad, especially when it's this early in the season. It really just allows him to refocus his team.
It was almost those injuries to Keon Rivers and Tyleik Isom. All of a sudden, that defense just looked a little bit stretched thin. I think moving forward, some silver lining spots. You got to love where the hands of Samari Bonds is. And I think moving forward.
So it's 29-10. Kane Bay going to pick up their first win of the season in week 0. I was so confused about. Just call it week 1.
Week 0? Well, maybe they did it for us. I've made my fair share of mistakes. Now we'll learn and get better. Just like
it's officially called like week 0. Week 1 is next week. I don't know. Now, granted, everybody in the state's playing except I believe the teams in Dorchester District 2. I believe they have a big jamboree tonight, like Dorchester and Ashland Ridge. But everybody else is playing in week 0. So, call me crazy, but just call it week 1.
Hey, man.
But we don't make the rules.
I'm proud of my public school education. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me either. As you see a big booming kick from Parker Osborne, he just keeps getting more comfortable. It booms a big kick away, and it's going to be fielded by Elias Johnson again. He'll carry it out to the Beaufort 40. And I think this is a huge moment in the game. How does your junior quarterback respond? Does he cave in? Do they try to go steal some points? Something to build off of moving into next week.
You got 131. This is a great time to practice your 2-minute offense because there may be a situation where it may be a one-possession game. So, yeah, you don't play necessarily the clock. You just play your game. So treat this as if we needed to get down the field, or let's say we were down 12-10 right now. You need to get in the field goal range. So, absolutely, you got 131. Don't just go through the motions. Finish strong. Use this time, and then defensively, if you're Cane Bay, the same thing as well. Hey, we're up 12-10. Don't play prevent defense because prevent defense prevents you from winning. So you need to pretend like you need to come up with a stop. Use this as a teaching moment early in the season.
You know, and I think when Coach Zaire goes back and looks at his team's effort here in the second half, I think no play more noteworthy than the guys that he talked about us all week. It was Jaden Ferguson and Andrew Tumbleston. So much love given to these running backs, rightfully so. But that left side of that offensive line has been dominant. They'll continue to be so. They'll run to the left all year long, and they feel really good running behind those big fellas. Even on that last touchdown, Tumbleston fighting to the last whistle. He's got a Wingate and Erskine offer. As you see the big fella air it out downfield.
What a catch.
Samari Bonds.
Wow.
Are you kidding me?
He threw that in the air about 50 yards.
As number 33, Edward Green. I do have him as number 32, Edward Green, on my roster, making sure that we're showing a whole lot of praise because that's an unbelievable catch.
Another first down by West Shore Holmes. So if I'm Russell Zaire and I pop in the tape, how does he get behind you? Like, nobody should get behind you as now Beaufort in the Trident Technical College red zone.
Right, a 19-point game. And think about how pivotal, like if you get that 3rd and 8 stop against Shade Agers, you're knocking on the doorstep to not only just take the lead, but obviously give yourself a chance to win. This is what I'm telling you right here. This kid's special. Samari Bonds is special.
And a great catch.
Yeah.
That wasn't an easy one to be able to maintain control of the football as he hit the ground. That was huge. And so, also, we talked about it, Jack. Even if you don't win this game, you try to score as quickly as you can, and then that allows you to practice your onside kick if it were a situation where you need to come up with to be able to get the ball back. So,
and I'd love to get to that opportunity because we talked to Coach Librand. They ran a huge fake punt in the state championship last year.
Right.
That led to their victory. They beat Powdersville 41-31. That fake punt was a huge reason why. I know he's got something drawn up to get really creative in an onside kick situation.
But fortunately for Cane Bay fans, it's a 3-possession game.
Man,
so if it were 2, I'd be a little more concerned here.
You see a nice rush on the outside from number 51. That was Garrett Andy, just a sophomore defensive end. You start to see some of the second reserve guys coming in and making an impact. You saw number 67, Caden Link, lined up over nose tackle.
And that pass was intended for the pass. One thing that the quarterback, Bonds, will learn, you got to throw your guys open. He threw that kind of behind the receiver. If he leads them in, that's an easy touchdown because he had the inside position. So that'll be the next step for him in his maturation. Throw guys open, lead them up the field, not necessarily throw it to where they are.
You can see Bonds, he's hobbling around back there, just fighting his tail off in that one. He led the receiver right into the end zone, and just right off of the hands of, I believe, Jameer Odom. Play he's going to want to forget about.
That's the old infamous seam route that we've talked about, Jack. It was there. You got to catch that. You got to come up with that play.
3rd down.
Drop on 2nd down. We do a 3rd and 9. Cane Bay defense looking for just one more stop to cement an unbelievable defensive effort from quarters 2 through 4. Just a minute 10. Bonds will look to the end zone. A little mistiming play between he and his freshman Patterson through the hands of number 10. It was M.J. Davis again looking to corral his 2nd pick of the night.
And if he's patient on that, they're playing man-to-man coverage, it looks like, on the outside. They're winning every battle. So if he just takes his time, looked like that slot receiver to his left was wide open. They're just running skinny posts. Just take his time, step into his throw. Their play is there. He just has to relax and deliver the football.
I think in that first half, he showed that he was willing to work through his progressions. That defensive front has kind of forced him to maybe want to get the ball out quick. So kudos to the Cane Bay defensive line. And on 4th down, just outside the outreached arms of number 7, Jameer Odom. And that's going to put an end to the night. Cane Bay, Ben, don't break in the red zone yet again.
Yeah, you're right. Good job by the Cobra defense. But once again, the pass wide open there. This is where I need my little telestrator so I can draw on it, because the pass was definitely open at the top of the field on the inside. They had zero coverage, no safety. No safety is our guys up here in the booth with us, giving us the Johnny Manziel money sign. I guess that stuff costs money, so I'm just going to be quiet and talk about. I'll just draw it on it. Only I can see the circle.
You're painting the picture for them at home. I know where you're going with it.
Let me try. Maybe they know what I'm talking about.
Well, as Mark Stewart, he takes his final knee. I think it's going to take one or two more to put an end to the night. The old victory formation for the Cobras. What a response. How were they able to do it in that second quarter to spur this kind of momentum into an outcome that I don't think either one of us expected?
All about the turnovers, forcing turnovers, capitalizing on them, and that's what you have to do in a tight, contested game of this nature. So congratulations to Cane Bay. One thing I love seeing already was the sportsmanship. Two solid football teams battling against each other, shaking hands. Hey, somebody had to win, somebody had to lose. I love seeing this. This is what high school football is all about. You compete for 4 quarters, and then at the end, you can have one winner. So love seeing the sportsmanship between Cane Bay and Beaufort.
Well, I'll tell you what, we loved watching your preferred home services player of the game go preferred, the company highly referred, and we're going to be talking about this dude for quite some time. It was number 6, Deshaun Tompkins.
Yeah, safe to say Russell Zier preferred to get the ball in the hands of Mr. Tompkins, and he did not disappoint. He was able to tote the mail. He was able to deliver it. He was a workhorse tonight. Tompkins, just a solid night. 11 carries, 103 yards, and 1 touchdown. So good job tonight by Tompkins, our preferred home services player of the game.
To see both teams shaking hands at the 50-yard lines. We'll in just a few get Trooper Bob down on the field to talk with you with Coach Zaire after that big win. I mentioned not the expected outcome that we mentioned, not that we didn't think that Cane Bay could win. Your second key of the game, the Crew Chevrolet key of the game, was keep it within striking distance. And after that first quarter, Beaufort was so in control. But Coach Zaire this week had mentioned to us,
get to the fourth quarter.
Just get to the fourth quarter. And his team clearly well-conditioned, and they were ready to play in the fourth quarter.
He said our guys bust their butts here over the summer, and that's how, if they could just get to that fourth quarter, they were going to be fine. And if I'm not mistaken, Jack, yes, Cane Bay outscores Beaufort 19-0 in the fourth quarter. That's obviously the difference in the game.
And we're going to take our final break of the night. When we come back, it's going to be Preferred Home Services Friday Night Rivals, driven by Chevrolet. And you know what? Trooper Bob's that good. We don't need to kick it to break. He went and tracked down Coach Zaire. He said, Deshaun Tompkins, you run a 4.49 40. He can sprint over here really quickly.
He tracked that down like an auto accident. I mean, he is. That's why we call him Trooper Bob. Yeah. He's that good. And, boy, what a big night here at Cane Bay for the Cobras.
I was going to say, we're going to allow them to sing their alma mater when they finish up. We'll kick it down to Trooper Bob so you can hear from your preferred home services player of the game. You'll hear from Coach Zaire. But let's go back to what we were just talking about. 10:30 at the end of the first quarter. You scored 26 unanswered points. Just such a testament to the overall culture of this Cane Bay team. And all credit to Coach Zaire.
Mental toughness. I love a quote that I say all the time. Pressure is when you're asked to do something you're not prepared to do. These kids have prepared all summer long to be in this position, to be able to get to the fourth quarter and to come away with a victory against an outstanding Beaufort football team. This message here is sending a message to the rest of the state. Cane Bay is here to play. We're not going anywhere. We just took down the defending state champions on our field convincingly. Now, of course, when you see the score, they're not going to know how close this game was. But as I often say, it's not how you start. It's how you finish, and when you can close out a game and outscore your opponent 19-0 in the fourth quarter, that's getting it done.
And I think, too, the question was up front. Coach Zaire said, hey, man, we're young up front. I'm really curious to see how these young guys show up under the lights. Offensively, we talked about Tumbleton. We talked about Jaden Ferguson, the captain that's picked up his teammates. But for me, even Stephen Hurd on the defensive line, you could see him dancing up front. He was fantastic. But we're ready. Trooper Bob, he's ready to kick it. And here from the victory team of just week 0, it's Coach Zaire, the Cane Bay Cobras.
I'm down here with the player of the game, number 6, Tompkins, also the coach. 29 points. Your offense did a great job. Your defense kept them from scoring. Your thoughts on the game?
Well, somebody smart once said it ain't how you start, it's how you finish. And these guys came alive after the first quarter and the second half, especially the fourth quarter. They got things done. I'm extremely proud of them.
I got a plaque for your big win. Congratulations. You guys did a great job tonight.
And you heard it from Coach Zaire. Means so much to his program. We're going to take our final break of the night. Come back. We're going to recap the ball game, talk to you a little bit more about how incredible Week 0 was here from Preferred Home Services Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. As we welcome you back in, it was Cane Bay, the home team. They get the big 29-10 win over the reigning 3A state champions. Hey, we want to remind you, too, that trophy presentation was sponsored by All-American Awards, helping Charleston recognize excellence since 1933. Everett, and a whole lot of excellence on the gridiron tonight.
Yeah, it was, Jack. Offensive, defensively, special teams, a little bit of everything tonight. Both teams, I kind of feel like got out to a slow start, hence the 3-0 score at the end of the first quarter. But both teams, I thought, picked it up there in the second quarter, made plays. And at the end of the day, you have to make plays. Cane Bay made more plays than Beaufort, and that's why they were victorious tonight, 29-10.
And obviously, both programs will walk away so both incredibly coached. They'll respond. A lot of mistakes we saw in Week 0, but hey, that's the point of Week 0, right?
Fixable mistakes, coachable mistakes, things, and a lot of it's just mostly your mental approach. I mean, you see Cane Bay with Beaufort with 12 penalties, Cane Bay with 9. So those are things that are fixable. You got to lock in. You can't, late hit. You can't hold. You can't, just the simple things of that nature. With it being Week 0, you still have a lot of football left to be played. Nobody has won a state championship or lost a state championship by winning or losing tonight. So, yeah, as the great coaches that there are, with obviously Coach Lieberman and obviously Coach Zaire, yeah, this will be exciting because you can show them, as they say, the eyes in the sky don't lie. So that will give them an opportunity to be a better football team next week.
The number of the night, the team rushing category, 296 for Cane Bay. Samari Bonds was spectacular from Beaufort, looking to take care of the football moving forward with a junior, a super bright future. We also want to remind you, ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere at 11:05 tonight. Make sure you're tuning in. Scott Eisberg and Webb Wright, they're the best in the business, giving you all the Low Country's finest high school sports athletes. But on behalf of myself, Jack DeLongchamp, the legend Everett German, we thank you for tuning in to Week 0 of 2023's Preferred Home Services Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. And remember, Week 1 next week, we'll be right here with the Battle of the East and Cooper with Wando and Lucy Becker.